Here's tonight's lineup for the broadcast. Standing at...
Sports, Mexia, Black Cat Football, and Athletics. We have items for all occasions, including gender reveals, weddings, 4th of July, and New Year's. For more information and to stay up to date, please visit our Simpson Fireworks Facebook page. Go Cats!
Mexia Sports Network would like to send a big thank you to our sponsors. Some may know and some may not know this business is funded by the owner and co-owner. However, we do offer sponsorships during sports seasons. When you sponsor a spot on the Mexia Sports Network, you get advertisement during live games. Also, your sponsorship assists in obtaining shirts for our announcers and equipment that is used to bring you better services. Thank you all to past and present for your support.
Hi, my name is Rick Kennedy, and I'm running for United States Congress here in the 17th District in Central Texas. Healthcare is far and away the most important issue to the people of Central Texas. And while our healthcare system is incredibly complex, what people want from healthcare is really quite simple. They want access to quality healthcare, and they don't want to go broke or bankrupt trying to pay for it. That's why I support the Medicare for America Act. Medicare for America will provide access to quality healthcare for all Americans. It will provide protection for bankruptcy due to healthcare costs. It will help us rein in the cost of prescription drugs by allowing the government to negotiate prices with pharmaceutical companies, and unlike other proposals, will not outlaw private health insurance.
SHN Live is an online audio and visual production company based out of Austin, Texas that specializes in broadcasting live events. Hi, I'm Carl Schoening, the Director of Broadcasting and co-founder of SHN Live. When my business partner Rob Hipp and I started SHN Sports in 2015, we made our slogan, "Your Team, Your Broadcast," because we envisioned bringing live broadcasting to undercovered sporting events as affordable as possible to schools and organizations. We started out with Georgetown ISD high schools and in 5 years have expanded to 6 states with over 30 affiliates, while also doing production for NCAA teams, conference tournaments, and even the NCAA Division II basketball tournament. In 2020, we rebranded to SHN Live as we provide resources and training for more than just sports. SHN Live is for anyone interested in any kind of online media production. We make broadcasting on our platform free, and we teach our affiliates how to most cost-effectively start broadcasting. If you have a computer, we can teach you the basics of live streaming today. If you become an affiliate, you can put on live streams that look and sound professional once you have collected all of our recommended equipment. And by being an SHN affiliate, we will provide sales support, audio and visual elements to improve your broadcast such as static and motion graphics, access to our Facebook SHN Live affiliates page, and on-demand troubleshooting and tutorial videos. You can also contact Rob or myself for help, and we'll get back to you free of charge. Rebranding in 2020, SHN Live started because of one question. Why pay third-party companies hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year for live streaming when you can own your own equipment and put on a professional quality live stream at any time yourself? With SHN's platform, you can control everything from who is on your broadcast to keeping 100% of your advertisement money sold. While SHN will try to sell advertisements with national companies across the network and then give a kickback to participating broadcasts. If you want your broadcast to look and sound the best possible, we recommend getting the SHN Live Academy subscription, where we teach you everything you need to know about online media production. For an affordable monthly investment, you will get a credit towards SHN services, access to monthly broadcasting webinars produced by SHN Live, monthly broadcast critiques, access to advanced SHN video tutorials where we teach fundamentals of broadcasting with experienced professional broadcasters, and how we create our audio and visual elements so you can make your broadcast more personalized, as well as discounted rates for our services such as making those broadcast elements, emergency support calls when service can be available, and enhanced sales support for your broadcast. If you want your events to be broadcast professionally and on your own budget, fill out the form below and we'll get you set up as an SHN affiliate within 24 hours. To get started today, check out our next videos on what equipment we recommend for professional audio and video.
Sponsored by Mexia Sports Network, Greer & Greer Mobile Detail, Woodman Life, Subway, Joe Fridays, Elizabeth C. Ferrari Realtor, and Big Drip Fashion Hall.
Big Drip Fashion Hall is now open in Mexia. Big Drip offers a variety of the latest styles of urban clothing, serving boys and men of all sizes from toddlers to 6XL. Big Drip Fashion Hall is guaranteed to meet all of your fashion needs. Come check us out, 1335 East Milam Street in Mexia, across from Hibbett Sports.
Milestones and moments that become memories to last a lifetime. Brandy Garza at Photo Trappings downtown Mexia is here to capture all of your milestones and moments, offering newborn, children, seniors, family, and special occasion photography. Visit Photo Trappings on Facebook for all the latest specials and mini sessions. Photo Trappings, 115 East Commerce, downtown Mexia. Call or text 254-562-PICS. Mexia Insurance Services proudly supports Mexia ISD, the Mexia Black Cats, and the Mexia Lady Cats. Located at 811 Milam Street and serving the Tri-County area insurance needs for over 30 years, with coverages for auto, home, business, life, health, and renters as well as bonds. Call today for a free quote and a review of your current coverage. 254-562-3894. Go Cats!
For over 20 years, Rachel Anderson Real Estate has been synonymous with residential and country lifestyle real estate in Limestone and the surrounding counties. Whether selling or buying, Agent Elizabeth Ferrari can help. Visit ElizabethCFerrariRealtor.com or call 254-747-1602. Real estate market knowledge, passion for helping clients.
Heritage Real Estate LLC, voted by readers of the Mexia News as the best real estate company and best realtor for 2020, is proud to support the Mexia Black Cats. Broker and owner Mitzi Eves, as well as Heritage Realtors Pat Adams and Kelly Lauderdale, are all graduates of Mexia High School. Together, Heritage Real Estate LLC realtors have over 30 years of real estate experience, are very involved in the community, and are dedicated to their clients. Heritage Real Estate LLC works with sellers, buyers, and investors for residential, lake properties, lots and acreage, and commercial properties in Limestone, Freestone, Leon, Robertson, Navarro, and the surrounding counties. You can find Heritage Real Estate LLC listings on Realtor.com, Zillow.com, Trulia.com, and many other websites. Call Heritage Real Estate LLC at 254-562-7899 anytime for help with all your real estate needs.
right, and we're here tonight, this Friday night at Black Cat Field here in Mexia, Texas, as the Mexia Black Cats get ready to face off against the Brownsboro Bears. It's Wallace High and James Dykler on the call with Freddie Greer behind the camera of our Mexia Sports Network. As we come to you right now, the teams are beginning to prepare to take the field as Brownsboro is coming out donning the yellow helmets, white jerseys, and blue pants. Mexia will be in their black helmets, red uniforms, red pants. We have a couple minutes before kickoff, and this will be the district opener tonight for both teams. Mexia comes in with a 1-4 overall record. The Bears come in with the same 1-4 overall record. And we talked about it during the coaches show and earlier this week prior to our prediction show. Mexia played a pretty tough non-district schedule against some of the top-ranked or top 10 teams in the state or top 15 teams in the state, which allowed them to really kind of be tested by some of the better teams that some in other districts will be facing throughout the district play. So Mexia will get Brownsboro tonight. We hadn't seen much from Brownsboro this year. We know that they seem like they're a very scrappy team. They're eager and ready to get out and play. With it being the district opener, James, we talked about it with Coach Abram. The records are 0-0. No matter what you did in non-district play, right now your district record is what really matters. And so both teams come in with 0-0 records in district, and they'll get a chance to make a statement tonight.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Wallace. Both teams are coming in 0-0 right now, starting their district play. And what will boost the confidence for either one of these teams tonight is getting that first win in district, which tonight we see that the Brownsboro Bears, they kind of evenly sized match up with Mexia. Mexia actually kind of looks like the bigger team out there on the football field. And I think one of the keys tonight for Mexia to gain that confidence back that they had whenever they beat Navasota is having a great play from their defensive line and their linebacker core. Wallace, one thing that we really didn't see too much of during non-district play was, as we was talking about previously, we didn't see a lot of blitz packages coming from the Black Cats, which they might have it in their entrée, but probably because they didn't want the district teams to see what kind of defense setups that they're going to bring to start that push for the state playoffs. But I think it's going to be very imperative for the defensive line and linebackers to set the stage early tonight during this game.
Right, and as we talk, the captains are meeting at midfield with the officials. Tonight's captain for Brownsboro is number 56. That'll be Tristan Christian. And Mexia's captain tonight will be number 4, Lamarian Miller. And it looks like Brownsboro won the flip. They've chose to receive. Mexia will kick from the east end zone going to the west end zone. So we'll get to see Mexia kicking off and then playing defense more than likely initially. And Brownsboro's offense will take the field first. As the players exit the field, we're going to prepare for the national anthem. We'll take a break and bring you the national anthem along with the teams as they prepare to salute the flag. All right, and it's football time here in Mexia tonight. Again, it'll be the Mexia Black Cats facing off against the Brownsboro Bears as the teams get prepared to come out for the opening kickoff. We'll have Mejia's kicking unit preparing as they huddle on the sideline. The kickers have made their way out to the field to set the tee and set the ball. And the officials spread, and we'll get the drill team from Brownsboro exits the field. And it'll be Brownsboro's return unit moving out onto the field. As one thing I did notice is they have one young man out there with a different colored helmet than everyone else.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the ball, it is very windy tonight, y'all.
Yeah.
And with both styles of offense that these teams run, which are usually the running game, we won't see the ball in the air too much, especially with the wind gusting like this.
Yeah, we're getting big gusts, so if you hear some noise or interference in the microphones, it's because the wind is very high, and we're getting some pretty strong gusts up on top of the press box where we sit. And it will be Davila who puts a foot into it and kicks it deep. And the ball will be fielded at the 3-yard line. And the return man will bring it out, and he comes out across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. And that looked like number 25. And that'll be Chancellor Vincent, or Vincent Chancellor, for the Bears. So he got a pretty good return of about 19 or 20 yards on that initial kickoff return. So we'll see it. Oh, and there was a flag on the play, and I missed what they called.
Yeah.
But it looked like it may have been offsides against the Black Cats, and they'll mark off 5 yards from.
I think that's what it was, Wallace.
From the
I was
end of the
looking down.
run.
I was looking down when they kicked the ball.
Yeah, because the flag got thrown back
Yeah.
by where the ball was teed off at. So it'll be Brownsboro's ball first. And it'll be a handoff, and it's a pass deep down the field, and it's great play that time by number 6. And I believe that's Frankie Smith, as Brownsboro, with a little deception there, handed off out of that wing T look, and then the back threw a nice ball down the field, and number 23, who's a tall receiver, was able to go up, and as he got his hands on it, Frankie Smith was able to get there and knock that ball away.
Yeah, the ball was intended for number 23, G. Kyle Baker, for Brownsboro, and he had it in his grasp, but Frankie had great defense and knocked it off.
Up to the line, it'll be a handoff up the middle this time. And that time the runner just powered and churned his legs for a gain of about 3 yards on that run, or we're going to say 2 yards, as they're going to spot it at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, the running back looked like number 9 from Brownsboro.
That'll be Ty McKenzie. And
he's a beefy kid
he's
back there.
He's a good-sized young man, and will be 21 under center. He hands off underneath. Oh, and the runner gets some yardage, and then, and the ball's on the ground. It looks like Mexia recovers it.
Yeah, it looked like number 14 from Mexia, Devontae Daniels, jumped on the ball as it rolled out to about the 38-yard line for Mexia. And that's a great start by the defense. You know, like I said at the beginning of the game, I think the key is going to be setting the dominance for the defensive line for Mexia to get that confidence back. And that's a great job getting the ball back.
And that was number 9, McKenzie, on the carry in the fumble. So Mejia's offense will come out for the first time tonight. It'll be Miller under center as they're in their tight look. It'll be a handoff. Oh, no, he keeps it. And Miller throws it down the field, and it's caught by Holman. And he makes a move, and then he's brought down about the 22-yard line.
Yeah, it did look like a handoff there, but Miller rolled out, and it looked like that the Bears had him for a good 10-yard loss, but Miller fought through and was able to get that pass out to Holman to get a first down to about the 24-yard line of the Bears.
Yeah, and that was a good, probably 12-yard pickup that time, as Holman came back to the ball and made sure he caught it before the defenders could get there. Mejia back up to the line of scrimmage. Miller will be in the shotgun this time. Man in motion. It'll be a snap, direct snap to Wiley, and Wiley's out around the right side. Oh, and he's still up and fighting for yardage as a defender grabbed him and spun him and turned, and Wiley just put a hand down and would not go to the ground and was able to pick up positive yards for the Black Cats.
Yeah, they took Wiley down to the ground, but the problem was Wiley fell right on top of the defender and rolled for about 2 yards and got back up and got that first down for Mejia down to about the 18-yard line of the Bears.
Yeah, and so that'll bring up 2nd and 5 here as Mejia's really looking to move the chains here as they stay in their tight formation. Miller still in gun. Man in motion, snap back to Miller. He keeps it, and now he's pushing forward. He's going to get he's going to actually looks like they're going to mark him with a short loss on that play.
Yeah, number 4 from the Bears, Jatravian Sessions, junior defensive lineman for the Bears, came through and got Miller right about the line of scrimmage, but Miller did fight through for a good 4-yard gain.
It's going to bring up 3rd and about 6 here. Mejia moves back to the line of scrimmage. Miller under center. Snaps back. He drops back, and he looks, and he throws it, and it's a screen. And Brownsboro does a good job of sniffing that out as the ball was dumped over to Wiley, and there was a defender right in his pockets. As soon as he caught it, they wrapped him up, and it's actually going to be a loss of about 4 on that play.
Yeah, number 32 for Brownsboro, Mickey Ray, was the one that snuffed out that screen pass to back Mejia up 4 yards back to the original line of scrimmage.
So Mejia's going to send out the field goal unit, and it'll be Gustavo Martinez lining it up to kick. This is going to be a 40-yard field goal attempt. Kid snaps back, ball's up. Oh, and it's going to be blocked. And BJ Sunday, and he's tackled as there was a mishandling of the snap and getting the ball down on the tee, which didn't allow the kick to get off. Sunday attempted to get up and try to make a play out of it from his holder spot, but Brownsboro's defenders were there to bring him down, and he was actually dropped all the way back to the Brownsboro 40. So with that, it'll be a turnover on downs for Mejia, and Brownsboro will take over out at their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, I was a kicker back in high school, Wallace, and the key is you have 2 seconds once that holder gets the ball. If you have just that one little fumble, it's a little bit too late.
Man in motion.
I don't know how they
There's a
didn't
little
see the
early
false start.
movement up front, but there's a handoff, and then the whole Mejia defense is there to wrap up the runner and to stop progress. But it'll be a gain of about 5 on that run.
Yeah, I know you saw it just as I did, Wallace. You had a lineman already a yard downfield before the ball was even snapped. So hopefully the refs can clean that up a little bit.
And that looked like number 6 that time on that carry. You know, you don't see it too much. The quarterback's number is number 21 tonight for Brownsboro. And that's Jackson Rogers is the play caller for Brownsboro. The last run was handled by Dallas Tate. It'll be handoff up the middle, and this will be stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. And that looked like Jabrian Busby led the charge on that one as he came downhill from his linebacker position.
Yeah, and that's what we need to see tonight, Wallace, from the linebackers. Make sure you're coming downhill once that ball snapped. You know, you've got to get a good read of the handoff, which, you know, with the Wish T offense, you know, it's always hard to get that read of where the ball is going to go. But that's one thing we need to see from the linebackers is advancing forward and making sure they don't get that 2 yards, 3 yards.
Brownsboro back up to the ball. Be a handoff around the left side. And that's going to be number 20 for the Bears as he picks up decent yardage before he's driven backwards, and that's going to be enough for a Brownsboro first down.
Yeah, that was
as
just
he moves the ball across midfield.
That was a destined for a first down run. Looks like we're going to have a flag, maybe a false start on the other side, illegal motion. which is going to push the Bears back 5 yards.
It's going to be holding.
That's going to be, okay, a holding call.
There's going to be a 10-yard penalty that time on the Bears.
So now that's going to make it about 3rd and 13 for the Bears,
And that's about a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah.
And honest, because you moved the ball across midfield and picked up a first down, and now you're moving it back to around just outside of your own 35-yard line.
Which, we're not complaining here.
No. Snap back, and the quarterback rolls out to his right. Pass is completed.
And B.J. Sunday came
Yeah.
up and made that initial tackle to stop him at the original line of scrimmage.
And that was a good job by B.J. of getting his hat across the runner's body and really stopping his progress and bringing him down as he limited that gain. And the ball's only advanced to the 40-yard line, so that's going to bring up 4th and 10 for the Bears. It looks like they're going to come out to punt the ball, as this will be number, 24, back deep to punt for the Bears. Holman back for the Black Cats, and it's going to be a low-line driver, and that's going to give Holman a chance to return it, and he's out around the right side. He makes a move. Oh, and he runs through a couple people and spins, and he's out across the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know with the dampness of the humidity here tonight, Wallace, if that field's a little bit slick, but it looked like Trey tried to make a cut onto the inside and slipped a little bit and slowed him down, and that allowed the Bears the pursuit to catch up with Trey, because with a low line drive kick like that and no coverage down there, that's dangerous for the other team, because Trey Holman, he's an excellent punt returner. Looks like we got
a flag, and we're going to get Mexia for a block in the back on the return. So it'll negate about 15-yard return from Holman. And it'll move the ball back inside the Mexia 20 to about the 18.5. So Mejia's offense will come out inside their own 20 to start their second drive. And it'll be Miller again. It'll be a handoff to Wiley up the middle.
And somebody lost a helmet.
Yeah. It looks like he got back to the line of scrimmage and not much after that. As I'm, looking out on the field right now, and it looks like Brownsboro is putting all 11 men in the box, and they're just daring Mexia to try to beat them running the ball.
Yeah, and like we was talking about in the coaches show, Wallace, Brownsboro, they'll show you so many different looks on defense that, they're not scared to stack the box with 11 and come right at you.
Big hand snap back. Miller looks to throw it out wide. Oh, and he overthrows his receiver, and that time it was intended for number 3, Christian Clark, who wasn't able to catch up to it.
Yeah, with the way that the wind's blowing, Wallace is kind of coming like right in our face, and that's the way that the pass came. And I'm thinking that maybe the ball was up just a little bit too much and pushed it up out of bounds to give Mexia a 3rd and 10 with 5:33 to go in the first quarter.
And if you're Mexia, you want to get some yards and get yourself, farther away from your own end zone right here. Be a snap back to Miller, and he keeps it around the right side, and he runs through a couple tacklers, and he's out across right at the 30-yard line, and that looks like it'll be enough for a first down, as he was hit around the 22, and looks like the defender tried to hit him in his legs, and he just kind of kneed him and got him off of him, and then another defender stepped up around the 27-yard line to stop him, and Miller put his shoulder down and just ran through him to get out across the 30.
Yeah, and that's one thing you do if you're a smaller defender going against a bigger guy on offense, go low, but Miller was strong enough to get through for the first down.
Be snapped back to Miller. I was going to be direct snap this time, and it'll be Jones around the left side, and Brownsboro is there. As right now, Brownsboro sticking true to just keeping all 11 men in the box. And Mejia's attempting to try to get outside of that. Yeah, because we know if they can get outside, it becomes a track meet. And I have a lot of confidence in those speedsters from Mexia if they're able to get there.
Yeah, our offensive line right now, they're getting good push. But the thing about Brownsboro is, like you said, they're stacking the box with 11. And it's hard to block 11 people with 5 guys.
Yeah, they're bringing more than Mexia has to block right now. So they're able to get some free runners. Mejia and Miller keeps this time, and he's up the middle, and he's out to the 35.
That was a good 6-yard gain by Miller as he got it up to about the 34-yard line to make it 3rd and 6. But that's one thing that we're probably going to see a lot of is the quarterback read, which Miller's great at that. He usually notices the holes open up and the gaps open up, and we might see a lot of that in the first half just to try to kind of get Brownsboro to open up the defense a little bit.
And now Mejia comes out with a little more of a spread type with a couple receivers. And he loses it. And it looks like there's going to be a penalty flag. I don't know if
they might call him for intentional grounding.
He's outside the tackle box, and the ball went across the line of scrimmage. It looked like. Maybe it didn't.
Personal foul.
Face mask against the defense.
Well, that'll work too. But
like you said, automatic first down.
He was outside of the tackle box, and when he threw the ball, it was kind of flirting with that scrimmage line, which you do have to get it past the scrimmage line for it not to be an intentional grounding by the quarterback. But that was actually a smart play by Miller, so he didn't take that. It looked like it was going to be probably about a 5-yard loss.
So that'll be a 15-yard penalty against Brownsboro. They'll bring up 1st and 10 for Mejia out at their own 49 now. So now let's see if Mejia is able to take advantage of the penalty as they go with 2 wide wide out to each side. Miller, he eludes one defender. And then he gets rid of it to a runner, and that's Trey Jones who got the ball right as Miller was getting hit.
Yeah, it looked like Miller he saw Jones there, and before he was going down, just flipped it out to him. But it still ended up as a 2-yard loss as Mejia has the ball with 2nd down in 12 to go with 3:15 left in the first quarter. Both sides, Wallace, they're really not getting too much push on the offensive side of the ball. So we're going to see whose offensive line is going to start trying to dominate that line of scrimmage.
Well, Brownsboro's doing a good job is they're taking up all of the offensive linemen because they have a 5-man front. Oh, and this looks like all sides against Brownsboro. It's going to be a handoff to Holman. He makes a man miss, and he's up across midfield down to the 46-yard line of Brownsboro.
It looks like the ref on the other side, he saw it and called it. I don't know why this one on this side didn't call it because it was his side of the field. And I think they're going to get encroachment by defense.
And if you're Mejia, you accept the penalty. It'll be a difference in 1 yard. You accept the penalty and you save yourself a down, which is what I think they're going to do.
Yeah, that would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah, so the ball will be placed at the 47 instead of the 46, but it remains 2nd down for the Black Cats as Holman was able to gain 6 yards on that run.
Sometimes as a running back or receiver, you hate to see those numbers taken away from your stats, but it's all about game plan and transition during the game to make sure that you get basically the amount of yards that you gained, but you still save it down.
Yeah, so it'll bring up 2nd and 6 now. Snap back, handoff to Wiley. He's up the middle. Oh, and he breaks loose. And there's nobody going to catch him as he runs into the end zone.
No, he was hit about 2 or 3 times as he was going through. But like I was telling you before the game started, Wiley came over, gave me a fist bump. And like I said, I didn't realize how thick Wiley has really gotten. That's a hard body to get down just by arm tackling.
Yeah, he runs the ball really strong, and that's what he did there on that play. And there's going to be Mejia in their swinging gate, and Brownsboro just strings it out and tackles Holman as he tries to come around the left side.
Yeah, they had that sniffed out from the very beginning. But you know what? We got in the end zone first. We put the points up on the scoreboard first. And so we're going to take a quick break from the Mejia Black Cat field. Mejia Black Cats leading 6-0 with 2:07 to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Heritage Real Estate LLC, voted by readers of the Mejia News as the best real estate company and best realtor for 2020, is proud to support the Mejia Black Cats. Broker and owner Mitzi Eves, as well as Heritage Realtors Pat Adams and Kelly Lauderdale, are all graduates of Mejia High School. Together, Heritage Real Estate LLC Realtors have over 30 years of real estate experience. are very involved in the community and are dedicated to their clients. Heritage Real Estate LLC works with sellers, buyers, and investors for residential, lake properties, lots and acreage, and commercial properties in Limestone, Freestone, Leon, Robertson, Navarro, and the surrounding counties. You can find Heritage Real Estate LLC listings on Realtor.com, Zillow.com, Trulia.com, and many other websites.
All right, and we're back here as Mexia was just able to drive down the field and cap it off with a big run by Jarrell Wiley for a 47-yard touchdown with 2:07 left in the first quarter. It'll be Mexia looking to kick off to the Brownsboro Bears this time. As Mejia's kicking unit goes out, it'll be Davila as he kicks it deep once more, and that ball is going to skip into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback as Brownsboro doesn't attempt to try to return. So the ball will be placed out at the 25-yard line to start Brownsboro's next offensive series. You know, James, that time we got to see Mexia. They came out, and just like the first drive, they really kind of moved the ball the way they wanted to and ran some. They were able to see what was working and what was effective against Brownsboro's defense. And then, you gave the ball to Jarrell Wiley, and we talked about it right before that. If one of those guys in the backfield gets a seam, it's going to be hard to catch him. And he ran through about 2 or 3 arm tackles, and then he was into that third level, and nobody had a chance.
Right, and that's the thing about our running backs is they got some strong legs, and arm tackling is not going to do it.
Brownsboro under center, snap back. It's going to be a handoff underneath, and that's going to be a handoff to number 4 as he comes barreling through the middle of the line, and he picks up about 12 yards on that first down run.
Yeah, and that's Jatravian Sessions from Brownsboro. He also plays linebacker. I called him a defensive lineman earlier, but he plays linebacker.
He's a linebacker.
And that is a thick body and a hard body to get down to the ground.
Yeah, you have a couple big bodies in that backfield for Brownsboro with him and number 9. And 9's in motion this time. A handoff up the middle again, and there's going to be Sessions again as he's just running and dragging a couple of defenders. And he picks up about 14 there on that run.
Yeah, and the problem with that there, Wallace, is I saw that all of the Black Cats were tackling high.
Right.
When you get that initial wrap-up, then you've got to start going for the legs because on a big body like that, all he's going to do is carry you for 12 yards.
Right. And that's one of the things. When you have running backs as big as those 3 guys, now number 24 checks in, they're as big as anybody on our defensive side of the ball. It'll be a snap back, handoff up the middle, and the quarterback keeps it, and he's around the left side, and then he's met and brought down. Ball's loose. It looks like Mexia is able to corral it again.
I was looking to see if they stopped his forward progress there before the ball was loose. And I think that's
the
what they're
officials are talking about it. They're meeting up.
And they gave the ball to Mexia.
It's going to be a fumble, and Mexia gets the ball back. As that time, number 21, the quarterback for Brownsboro, that's Jackson Rogers, he sold the fake perfectly and was able to come out around the left side and was about 8 or 9 yards downfield, but then he got met by, I think that was Will Coleman from that safety spot that hit him first, and then someone raked that ball out, and then Mexia was able to dive on it and recover. I'm not sure who recovered it. So Mejia's offense is back out on the field. Miller in the backfield, snap back. Little option action. Oh, and late pitch. Oh, Wiley makes a man miss, and he's still up on his feet, and he's running. And he keeps turning his legs enough to get back up to about the 45-yard line.
And that is a man right there, Wallace.
He does not want to be tackled.
Determined to get back to the end zone because you got to think of the hype that he's feeling right now to finally break that big run for a touchdown, which we saw that many a times last year. You know, he's just been itching to get that kind of run. You got to think of the confidence now that's building back inside of him, knowing that he can still do that.
Mexia will break the huddle as they move back up. Miller will be under center. Wide outs to each side. Miller drops back. It's going to be a screen this time to number 22. Oh, and he just keeps rumbling and dragging a couple defenders, and I believe is that Luna?
Yes, that is John Luna, number 22 for the Black Cats.
It'll be John Luna as he caught that screen coming from his tight end position, and he was able to pick up a big gain of about 20 yards on that play. as he moves the ball down to the Bear 39-yard line.
That's one thing that we are seeing tonight in the first quarter with about 30 seconds left to go is Mejia's screen plays. They're actually looking more unified and developed than what they did against China Springs last game.
Man in motion. Miller keeps. He's up the middle. Oh, he cuts back, shucks off an arm tackle, gets off another, and he's off to the races now. He's up the sideline. Oh, and he just got too close to the sideline and stepped out at the 10-yard line because there was nobody there to catch him or bring him down before he got in the end zone.
Yeah, I keep hearing a whistle, so I'm looking for the yellow on the field.
Yeah, I don't see a flag down. Looks like they're just marking him out before the end zone. They think he thought he had scored a touchdown. But they got that 1 foot getting just a little too close to that line.
Yeah, and being where we are, Wallace, my angle, it didn't look like he did step out of bounds, but the ref had a better look on the line and did call him out at the 10-yard line.
And I think he was just trying to get away from those defenders, and he angled out just a little bit too far, and when he tried to cut back, that foot caught the line. It'll be a snap back to Miller. Handoff up the middle to Wiley. He barrels forward, and he keeps pushing, and he's still on his feet. It's going to be marked down at the 1-yard line.
And
as now it looks like Mejia's kind of figured it out. They're widening the field to get a couple people out of that box, and then the offensive line's doing a good job of working and changing the field position with those defensive linemen in front of them.
Yeah, and you're starting to see the push from Mejia's offensive line, but that does end the first quarter as the Mexia Black Cats are leading the Brownsboro Bears 6-0 at Black Cat Field, and we will be back with the second quarter after a word from these sponsors.
All right, and we're back with second quarter action as we kick off the second quarter. Mexia up 6-0 with the ball on the 1-yard line going in. It'll be a snap back to Miller. He hands off to Wiley around the left side, and he's in for the touchdown.
And that was just an easy 1-yard run for Wiley. You know, the line's getting a great push.
Mexia will line up in their formation for the extra point attempt. Looks like they'll run it out of this. Man in motion, snaps back. Miller keeps it, and he dives forward into the end zone. It looked like he thought he was going to get contact, so he dove, and nobody touched him, so he landed on his feet in the end zone. And that'll bring Mejia's lead to 14-0 with 11:57 to go in the second quarter as they were able to punch it in from a yard out that time with Wiley.
Yeah, it looked like number 4 Miller looked like Superman going into the end zone for Mexia. But that's great to see from these Black Cats, you know, after coming off that tough loss from China Springs a couple of weeks ago. We asked Coach Abram, hey, how do we continue to keep the confidence up with these young men, knowing that, hey, the record's still 0-0, so it's an all-new ball game. And he said it's hard, but we see the Black Cats coming out with the confidence tonight, knowing that they can push the ball and get into the end zone.
Yeah, so now Mexia will be kicking to Brownsboro after they scored that touchdown. So we've seen, and with the exception of a couple negative plays on that very first drive from Mejia's offense, they moved the ball very well that first time as well. This last two possessions, Mejia's been able to move the ball down the field and get in the end zone both times. And they're able to capitalize off of some Brownsboro turnovers.
Yeah, both teams are moving the ball pretty good. The problem is Brownsboro's putting the ball on the ground.
And so it'll be Davila and Martinez set to kick. And it'll be Martinez this time as he onside kicks it. And that ball's on the ground and looks like Mexia may have been able to get on it and recover as a Brownsboro player. And it is. It's Mejia's ball. A Brownsboro player initially came up to field the ball, and it looked like the ball ricocheted off of him. And that, I'm not sure who the Mexia player was.
That was 13, Xavier Molina.
And that's who I thought it was. Molina was able to dive down underneath the Brownsboro player and scoop the ball up to recover for the Black Cats. So Mexia will take over right at midfield as they were able to get the onside kick, and it was successful right after a touchdown. They'll get a chance to go down here again and try to add to their lead. Miller under center, snap back. And then Miller follows the running back. He cuts up, and he puts his head down, and he picks up about 5 or 6 yards on that run.
And that was a good job by the trailing back there, Wallace, because if Miller had got in trouble, he still had that pitch man on the outside. But that's a great read by Miller there, gaining that 6 yards to make it 2nd and 4 with 11:30 to go in the second quarter. Mexia, they're really putting together drives and pushing the ball.
As they move up to the line of scrimmage, it'll be Miller again under center. Snap back, handoff. Oh, he throws it. He pulls it and throws it this time to Trey Jones, who catches it, and he moves out across the 40-yard line and across the 35, and it'll be marked out of bounds at the 34-yard line, as that was a great fake that time by Miller as he put it in Wiley's gut in the last second, pulled it back, and just dumped it out to the flats to Jones, who used his speed to pick up about 15 yards on that play.
Yeah, like we saw against Navarro, I think Mejia's catching Brownsboro off guard with all the passes.
Oh, actually, that was about a 7-yard gain that time by Jones. And Wiley gets it back this time, and he puts his head down and rumbles forward for about 5 down to the 29-yard line. And so here quickly, Mejia's moved the ball, down deep into Brownsboro territory, and they're continuing to move it, move the ball well and get positive plays on this drive.
Yeah, one thing that I'm starting to kind of see, Wallace, is, when you start putting your hands on your hips, it means you're starting to get tired. And I think that this Mexia offense is starting to wear down the Bears early in the second quarter on defense.
It'll be Miller again under center. Snap back. Oh, he keeps it, and he looks out. He throws it. Oh, and he's hit as soon as he throws, and it doesn't allow him to get enough onto that pass as he had Holman on a little out route right at the first down marker.
Yeah, that was number 24 from the Bears, Kyle Nichols, who was right in the face of Miller, who really didn't give Miller that room to be able to step and throw the ball out to Holman, which that's what interrupted the pass play. But now Mejia's got the ball with 3rd and 5 to go, with 10 minutes left to go, and here's the snap.
Be a movement early over here on number 22. As he was just a hair before the snap that time. It's going to be a false start call against Mexia, so it'll back it up 5 yards, and it'll make it 3rd and about 10 here for the Black Cats.
Yeah, and that's one early mistake that Mejia's made, which they haven't made many here in this first half. And that's great to see coming into district play.
Right, and and that was one of the things we talked about, of being disciplined and not getting those penalties. And that's the first one against the Black Cats. It'll be a snap back to Miller. He pitches it to Wiley. He's around the left side. Puts his head down and just runs over a defender right at the first down marker. And I think the defender thought he was going to come and put a hit on Wiley on that sideline, and Wiley just lowered his shoulder and barreled into that defender and laid the wood to him.
We saw Wiley go around that corner, Wallace, and the next thing we saw was a white and yellow jersey and helmet go flying about 5 yards out of bounds.
Right, and Wiley knew where he needed to get, and nobody was going to stop him as he was able to pick up that first down that time on 3rd and 10 with a gain of 11. It'll be man in motion, snap back to Miller. He looks, and he throws it, and that ball's going to be caught by Holman and in for the touchdown.
I actually thought, Wallace, that ball was going to be just a little bit too long.
Right, and Holman hit that next gear and was able to get underneath it and stretch those arms out, and those fingertips hauled it in, and he ran in for for the touchdown. And that was a nice play as Holman came in motion across the formation, and then Miller just hit him wheeling out around the edge.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Mejia's seeing is, Brownsboro's they're stacking the box and leaving the outside open, so Mejia's playing to their defense.
And it'll be Martinez on for the extra point attempt. Snaps back, ball's up, down on the tee, and it's going to be a high kick that does get in. And it's going to be good. I think that time it took a little long for him to get the ball on the tee again.
Yeah.
But Martinez's leg is strong enough that from a standstill he was able to swing it through and get that ball across the crossbar.
Yeah, one thing, I don't know if you saw it, Wallace, but the ref run in on the nose guard.
He was lined up right over
the center, and that is illegal to do. And that's good to see a referee come and do that whenever it's not such a crucial play.
Right.
Come in and teach the kids. That's a very teachable moment. But that ball went up in the air, and it looked like it was going to the left. And I think the wind caught it and held it up and just barely pushed it over crossbars.
Yeah, and in that instant, if that referee doesn't do that and he's lined up, then that's a penalty against the defense.
Yeah.
And that's also a dangerous play for those deep snappers, because initially their heads are down between their legs so they can see. And if you get a man lined up right over them and they hit them, in the crown of their head, that could cause injury. And that's one of the reasons that rule is in place, to protect those guys. And it is good to see an official go out and let a young player know, hey, you can't be there, because he could have let it go and anything could have happened, or at the least it would have been a penalty against Brownsboro.
Right.
So it'll be Mejia set to kick here, as it'll be Martinez and Davila set again. And it'll be Martinez as he kicks it up high around the 30-yard line. And that ball's dropped. And then the runner is brought down there, and there's about 4 Black Cats who were ready to get him, as he wasn't able to field it cleanly, and the Black Cats' pursuit got there as soon as he got the ball off the turf.
Yeah, that looked like number 30, Marshall Eberly, who was there to stop the play for the Black Cats. But, that's also a great play by the Bears. That could have easily been another turnover for the Bears early in this second quarter. We got 9 minutes and 59 seconds left, and, both teams are coming up to the ball and snapping it real quick, so it's been kind of a fast game.
Right. It'll be man in motion, handoff underneath by Brownsboro. Oh, and that time the running back is chopped down, and that looked like B.J. Sunday, who was able to come up and just throw his body at the legs of big number 4.
Yeah, I think B.J. Sunday, he saved the big play for the Black Cats.
It's going to be a gain of 7 by the Bears that time. And like you said, both teams are running the ball, so the clock isn't stopping much, and the clock is running pretty fast. And then the few times that we've seen either team throw, it's usually been a completion, or, if it wasn't completed, they were running another play real quick. It's going to be a handoff again. No, he picks it up and throws it, and it's behind the intended receiver, number 24, who's not able to handle it. So that'll be an incomplete pass. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, I think if he would have caught that, Wallace, that could have also been a very big play for the Bears. But, we see the mistakes happening this time on the opposite side of the Mejia Black Cats, which, that's one thing that the Black Cats need, is to be able to come in and play that disciplined football, and whenever the other team makes the mistakes, take the advantage of it.
And here you have Brownsboro under center, snap back, handoff to number 24. And he's going to be brought down by the Black Cats. He's going to be close to that first down marker, though, as it looks like they're marking the ball right at the 39-yard line. It's going to be 4th and 1 here for the Bears.
We might have a measurement here, Wallace.
Yeah, the officials get together, and they've stopped the clock, and they're talking about it, and they're going to call for the chains to come out, as it looks pretty close. That ball looks like it's just inside the 39. And from where we're sitting over here, the sticks look like they're right at the 39.
Yeah, it's going to be close. It all just depends on where they spotted the front part of that nose of the football. And whenever I was on chains the past couple of years, that was the one thing that I hated, was when the ball was on the other side of the field.
Yeah.
And I had to rent them chains all the way across.
Well, that time, you know, they usually put the marker right on that line.
Mm-hmm.
And here, the official didn't come pick up.
Well,
the
he's
chain
supposed to
and
carry it.
Yeah, he's
all
supposed
the
to carry
way
it down the line, and he didn't. So now they're having to try to set it.
And it's going to be about 6 inches short.
Yeah. So it's going to bring up 4th down.
And I'm pretty sure if the Bears are going to, just line up and just quarterback sneak real quick and push that ball through to try to pick up this
It looks like they're going to put in the bigger number 12, who may be a bigger quarterback. No, here comes 21 back in the game. And so here they'll come up to the line of scrimmage. One man out wide. And there's just a movement. And then the Bears just try to get in behind their quarterback. Oh, and he's still pushing and running. And where it looked like Mexia had him stopped right at the line of scrimmage, he was able to keep pushing for 10 more yards as the big lineman got in behind him, and his backs that were behind him kept pushing. And Mexia was trying to stop the progress, but he's a pretty small fellow back there, and he looks like he was able to just kind of get in underneath some guys and keep moving forward to pick up a big gain on that 4th down.
Yeah, and that's one thing you see from the backs from both sides of these teams, Wallace, is the determination.
And the ball will be spotted right at midfield. It'll be handoff to number 24 this time. He leaps a player, and then he's chopped down at about the 44-yard line of Mexia.
Yeah, it looked like Trey Holman came in to try to make that initial tackle, and he was able to leap over and gain an initial 2 or 3 yards to make it 2nd and 4.
So that's a decent play there on 1st down for the Bears, as number 24 was able to get it and make a couple moves. That'll be Kyle Nichols on that carry. And here we have Brownsboro up to the line of scrimmage. Rogers under center, snap back, handoff. He keeps it, he looks to throw, and he has a man down the field open, and that ball's hauled in. And that ball is going to be taken all the way down to the 4-yard line, as it looked like Mexia's defensive back got confused, and Brownsboro's receiver was just able to get back past him, and the quarterback threw a ball that was held up in the air long enough for him to get under it, and they were able to get a big play on that.
Yeah, that was number 20 from the Brownsboro Bears. That was Peyton Stevenson, who was able to get wide open down over there on the right side. Well, like you said, it looked like that the defensive back kind of got turned around, because, just like Mexia, they're used to them running the ball.
Snap under center, handoff up the middle. And Mexia's fighting to keep him out of the end zone. And it looks like they're going to mark him down inside the 1.
I couldn't see who the initial ball carrier was there.
It looks like that was 24 again.
That's Kyle Nichols for the Bears.
And right here, if you're the Mexia, you need to get pushed. Your defensive linemen need to get pushed to change the line of scrimmage, and linebackers have to come downhill because they're just going to run the ball ahead and try to push it into the end zone. They come out and they're tight, and it's going to be a quarterback sneak. And they're still pushing, and they're giving them a long time on those pushes because Mexia's defense initially stopped the quarterback, and then the whistle never blew, and so they were able to get another surge that time from behind the quarterback to push him on into the end zone.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that with either side of the ball. If the play is stopped, you've got to blow the whistle.
Snap back, kick is up, kick is through the uprights, and it's good. So Brownsboro is able to get on the board here, and they cut the lead for Mexia to Mexia 21, Brownsboro 7. We'll take a quick break here and bring you a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with more second quarter action. Mexia leads Brownsboro 21-7 with 6:41 left to go in the first half.
Services proudly supports Mexia ISD, the Mexia Black Cats, and the Mexia Lady Cats. Located at 811 Milam Street and serving the Tri-County area insurance needs for over 30 years with coverages for auto, home, business, life, health, and renters as well as bonds. Call today for a free quote and a review of your current coverage. 254-562-3894. Go Cats!
All right, and we're back here at Black Hat Field with more Mexia Black Hat football. Brownsboro looks to onside kick, and
they got it.
Brownsboro gets the onside kick as Mexia allows it to roll towards the sideline, and the last man on the line was able to scoop it up.
Hey,
although
Wallace,
one thing, though, I think if you had instant replay like you do in college and NFL, it's not where the player is when he touches the ball. It's where the ball is, and I don't think the ball had crossed the 50 or gotten quite to the 50 when he secured it, although the player's feet were across the 50.
Yeah, and I got a question for you. Can you say, do you remember Cowboys and Falcons?
Right.
That's basically what that ball just did.
Yeah, and at some point, I mean, as the kickoff team, I know you worked on that throughout the season. Somebody has to take the initiative to go up and field that ball. As it's going to be a handoff this time. And
looked like the quarterback
kept it and was around the right side, and he was brought down for a gain of about 2 on that run.
And here comes number 4 for the Bears.
So Brownsboro looks to try to see some momentum here as they were able to score a touchdown on their last offensive drive and then recover that onside kick just a moment ago.
Yeah, and that's one thing we need to see right now from Mexia's defense is to get that initial stop, because the Bears are not out of this game right now.
Right. It's still early, and it's going to be a handoff up the middle to 4. And he's rumbles forward across the first down marker down to about the Mexia 31-yard line. It's going to be a first down. And one thing I noticed, the Mexia defenders are still trying to tackle 4 up high, and he is too big for that. And once they grab a hold to him up high, he just drags them for another 5 or 6 yards.
And that offensive line is doing their job. They're making sure that they get behind him and continue to push him forward. But number 4 comes in. He's good for about 3 or 4 plays, and he comes out.
It's going to be a handoff around the left side. Oh, and he cuts it back up, and he's hit. But then he puts his head down, and he gets positive yards up to the 30-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about
6 yards.
Yeah, about 6 yards on that run.
And as we was talking about before the game started, both of these teams are running teams, and Mexia's defense, looks like that they're trying to figure things out right now. They're saying, hey, we just came off the field, but hey, we need to go ahead and stick like glue and make sure that this drive does not continue past the 20-yard line.
Right, and if you're Mexia, you have to play your assignment. Snap back, handoff underneath the number 6 this time, and that's going to be Wiley who wraps him up as soon as he gets it. But he does fall forward for a gain of about 1.
Yeah, and that's one good thing that we're seeing tonight from the linebackers, Wallace, is as we talked before the game started, we'd like to see these linebackers play downfield and get into that backfield to disrupt the play, and that's what we're kind of seeing tonight a little bit from the linebackers. They're being explosive and breaking up good plays from the Bears.
Yeah, and if you're it's going to be snap back, handoff underneath, and it's going to be number 9. He breaks out of a tackle, and then he's going to be drugged down about the 2-yard line. And that was Frankie Smith able to make that tackle there to save a touchdown on that play. As a Mexia defender, you have to take care of your assignment when you're playing an offense like this. There's so much going on, so many things happening with the misdirection that you just have to do your assignment and do it and play it fast.
Yeah, and that was a great job by the Bears offensive line, is concealing that right side to allow that wheel around to come around and be so effective.
Right. Now that was essentially just a little wraparound play where everything flowed to the right, and that tailback wrapped around the quarterback and took it back underneath out the back door. Be a snap back, handoff to number 6 up the middle, and he's going to be hit immediately and driven backwards.
Yeah, Mejia's defensive line is actually playing pretty solid tonight, especially when it gets down towards the goal line. You know, they've been like bricks and been hard to move once they get down there.
And you know, with Brownsboro, their run game and looks like their featured players are those big backs in the backfield. They're going to try to push it in. So you have to wall up here and really bow up and make a play. You know, if you can get someone breaking free into that backfield and hit one of those backs before they can get going, that would be big. So here with 3 minutes left on the clock, looks like Brownsboro is going to call a timeout. And they are. So with 2:57 left in the second quarter, Mexia leads Brownsboro 21-7. Brownsboro is marching down the field. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more second quarter action.
Heritage Real Estate LLC, voted by readers of the Mexia News as the best real estate company and best realtor for 2020, is proud to support the Mexia Black Cats. Broker and owner Mitzi Eves, as well as Heritage Realtors Pat Adams and Kelly Lauderdale, are all graduates of Mexia High School. Together, Heritage Real Estate LLC Realtors have over 30 years of real estate experience, are very involved in the community, and are dedicated to their clients. Heritage Real Estate LLC works with sellers, buyers, and investors for residential, lake properties, lots and acreage, and commercial properties in Limestone, Freestone, Leon, Robertson, Navarro, and the surrounding counties. You can find Heritage Real Estate LLC listings on Realtor.com, Zillow.com, Trulia.com, and many other websites.
All right, and we're back here at Black Cat Field. Brownsboro with the ball at the Mexia 3-yard line as they're looking to try to get the ball into the end zone again. Snap back. There's going to be a rollout and a pass out to number 24, and he's able to he makes the catch and turns it up and gets into the end zone. So Brownsboro is able to score another touchdown as they cut even more into the Mexia lead now. Yeah, Brownsboro scored 13 unanswered points after a touchdown, a successful onside kick, and now a drive for another touchdown. Number 11 will be on to try the extra point. Snaps back, ball's down, the kick is up, and it's wide left.
Yeah, the kicker tonight for Brownsboro is Jorge Vincent, but number 24, Kyle Nichols, you know, he had a great seal out and was wide open for that little out pass right there to get into the end zone. But, you know,
so
that's what happens when you start moving the ball a little bit.
Yeah, it's 2:52 left in the second quarter. Mexia leads 21-13 as Brownsboro's got seemingly a little momentum on their side right now. You know, they've been able to get two consecutive scoring drives going and put together 13 unanswered points. Mexia started the game off with 21 unanswered. Now Brownsboro's come back with a run of their own. If you're Mexia, you're looking to try to get something going back again here at the end of the first half, because if you can get points on the board, you'll get the ball to start the second half, and you can kind of double dip in that way and scoring some points going into the halftime and come back out and put more points on to begin the third quarter.
Yeah, because if you look at both of these teams, Wallace, both offenses kind of mirror each other.
Right.
So you basically know what you're looking at and you know what's coming. But right now it's been the simple mistakes that both teams have capitalized on here in the first half.
And it looks like they'll try an onside kick again, and this time Coleman fields it at the 45-yard line. And that ball ricocheted off Jabron Busby.
It looked like Jabron Busby was the initial player trying to come up to field that onside kick, but it bounced off right into Will Coleman's hands, and that was great for Mexia with 2:52 left to go here in the second quarter.
And you've kind of seen that it looks like Brownsboro doesn't want to kick the ball deep to those speedsters for Mexia. They're trying to onside kick. You know, you want to tell those guys on that front row, come up and meet that ball. Don't wait for it to get there, because it's 9 times out of 10 on that onside kick, it's going to take a big hop right as it gets to that first line of receiving players. So it'll be Miller in the backfield as he takes the snap back, and he keeps. And there's a host of Bears there waiting for him as he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that looked like
actually, they're going to mark it for a yard loss.
Yeah, it looked like number 65, C.J. Coffer, who came in and kind of disrupted that play that when Miller tried to push it up the middle.
Mejia's offense back onto the field. Miller under center, 2 wideouts to the top. Oh, and Miller just pitched it straight to number 24, and it looked like he was taking the handoff, and he just took it and ran it straight back into the end zone. Yeah. So with that cuts the Mejia lead to 21-19.
That's just a boom play, you know. That's something Miller actually wasn't probably prepared for when he pitched that ball out, but you know, Nichols was right there.
It looked like it was something that Brownsboro seen happen and probably on film, and they were ready for it as Nichols just widened himself out, and as soon as the ball was snapped, he ran into where Wiley was standing, and Miller just turned to pitch the ball, and Nichols was there, and he caught it out of midair and was already running.
And I think if you're Abram, you look at your offensive coordinator and say, hey, let's take that play out.
Yeah, don't call that one again. It's going to be a timeout here for Brownsboro, as they were going to go for 2 but saw something that they didn't like. So as they take a timeout, we'll take a timeout as well, and we'll be back with more action here from Black Cat Field.
If you've not accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, if you've strayed away and are lost, if you need a church to call home and family, please don't put it off any longer. Your next breath is never promised. Visit Pastor James Deichler at Forest Glade Baptist Church, 4277 North Highway 14 in Mejia. He preaches straight from the Bible and never waters down the gospel. Church services are Sunday mornings starting at 10:45 a.m. A church that strives to advance the kingdom of God. Come be a part of this family.
All right, and as we're coming back, Brownsboro will take the field for their extra point conversion. Looks like they'll leave their offense on the field. Snaps back to 21. He hands off to 9, and 9 just puts his head down and runs over some people into the end zone. And that'll tie the ball game at 21, as Brownsboro has been able to score 21 unanswered points here in the second quarter. Off of some miscues for Mejia. Brownsboro had miscues in the first quarter. Mejia was able to capitalize off of those. Mejia's had some miscues here in the second quarter, and Brownsboro has been able to capitalize, as they were able to score a touchdown, get an onside kick, and then score another touchdown, and then that time able to basically intercept the pitch from Miller to Wiley and run it in for a touchdown and then convert on the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, this is that point in time where you want to see how Mejia is going to react to these 21 unanswered points, you know, that the Bears have gotten, which we know, you know, as I said, you know, these teams, they mirror each other, and they play hard, they play tough, they play fast, and the thing about it is, how is Mejia now going to react to this with 2:19 going before halftime? You know, I'm wondering if the Bears are going to try that onside kick again, because that second time that they tried it, they were almost successful on it. But the way that he's lining the ball up, it looks like he might try to push over there to the right side, but let's see what the Bears do.
And he's more in the middle of the ball this time. He just squiv kicks it down. It'll be Holman on the return. He hits the middle, and he makes a spin. Oh, and he's up the field, and he's off to the races. 30, 20, the 10, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. There's no flags on the field, and that may have been the reason that they weren't wanting to kick the ball deep to earlier in the game, as that time they squived it down, and the Mejia return team let it get all the way back to their back men, and Holman picked it up off the ground, and he just made a couple moves initially, and then it was a track meet, and nobody could catch him.
And, you know, that's one thing we saw from Holman last year. You know, he was almost a couple of steps away from breaking a few punt returns last year. And so as we see, Holman's got that explosive return speed. And you're right, Wallace. That's probably why the Bears don't want to kick it deep.
And this time it'll be Martinez on again for the extra point, Baz. And there's going to be a timeout by Mejia this time on the extra point. Oh, now I think there's some confusion. The referee called timeout Mejia. The coaches are saying they weren't calling timeout. And now I think they're going to make Mejia take the timeout.
I don't know.
And now I think coach is out talking to the referee, kind of explaining them to what they were calling and saying. As I think the referee initially misunderstood what the Mejia coaches were yelling out to their players on the field.
Which, as a referee, you got key things you try to listen to for whenever coaches want to call timeouts. And I've seen that happen in college. I've seen it happen in the NFL. It's a simple mistake.
Right.
If Mejia wasn't calling timeout, well, at least right now it's not going to hurt them because we got 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Right.
And we still got 2 timeouts left.
Right. The clock was stopped anyways after the touchdown.
But you don't want to call a timeout on an extra point attempt.
Right. And so here it'll be Martinez coming out again to line it up for the extra point. BJ Sunday on the hold. Mejia's had some troubles in the kicking game here to start off the game. We'll see. Oh, snaps back, ball's down, kick is up, and that time it looked a lot better as Martinez boots that one through. As the extra point was good, Mejia extends their lead to 28-21. So after 21 unanswered points by the Bears, the Black Cats are able to come down the field and put a touchdown and an extra point back on the field on the board. And the score now is 28-21. Mejia leads Brownsboro with 2:07 left in the game. We'll take a quick sponsor break, and we'll be right back with the end of the first half.
Simpson Fireworks supports Mejia Black Cat football and athletics. We have items for all occasions, including gender reveals, weddings, 4th of July, and New Year's. For more information and to stay up to date, please visit our Simpson Fireworks Facebook page. Go Cats!
All right, and we're back as Mejia gets set to kick off. Brownsboro getting their players out on the field.
Looks like there's a little bit of confusion.
A little confusion, and it's going to be a deep kick by Davila. And that ball's going to check up. Oh, yeah, and it doesn't go into the end zone. And Mejia recovers the ball at about the 2-yard line. As Davila, there was some confusion with which players were going to get on the field for Brownsboro, and Davila kicked it deep. And the return men thought it was going to go into the end zone, as many of his kicks do. And that ball just hit about the 4-yard line and checked up and went sideways and died right at the 2-yard line. And the cover team from Mejia was able to fly down the field and get on it before Brownsboro could get to it. So Mejia will take over at the 2-yard line. It'll be Miller under center. Snap back to Miller. Hand off to Wiley. He puts his head down and he runs into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, and that's the difference between a punt and a kickoff.
Right.
If a punt goes into the end zone, it's dead. But on a kickoff, even if it goes into the end zone, it's still a live ball.
No, if that ball didn't go into the end zone.
No, I know it didn't.
No, if a kickoff, if it goes into the end zone without it being touched, it'll be called a touchback also. But that ball just stayed out, and so you have to play it on the kickoff. The extra point is up, and it's good, but I saw a flag come in. Or no, that may have just – no, there's a flag down on the ground. We'll see what the call is. It's going to be offsides against Brownsboro. That's declined. The field goal is good. So Mejia's lead is now 35-21 with 2:03 left in the second quarter, the first half. So just what I was saying, James, if it goes now with the new kicking rules, before you used to have to play it. With the new kicking rules, if you don't play it, as soon as it hits the end zone, they blow it dead as a touchback.
You're right.
But on a punt, you can let a punt roll and not have to play it. And then the opposite team can come and touch it and down it, and you just take over from that spot.
And that's what I'm wondering, if what the receiver was doing, he was thinking it was the same rules as a punt. And the ball bounced and trickled and stopped at the 2-yard line, and he took his time trying to get to that ball. And it kind of looked like Mexia was a little hesitant to get on the ball as well, but they at least jumped on it and did the right thing. And Mexia comes back with 14 unanswered points here to go in 7 seconds, Wallace.
You know, and we've talked about it being a game of runs. Mexia with 21 unanswered points, then Brownsboro with 21 answered points, and now Mexia with 14 unanswered points. So it'll be kickoff again by the Black Cats. And this time it'll be Martinez as he kicks it high. There's going to be a fair catch call for it, and that ball's going to be taken in at about the 26-yard line. So right here, if you're Mexia and your defense can hold for these last 2 minutes and 3 seconds of the first half, you'll get a chance to come out and receive the ball to start the second half after you put 14 straight points on the board to extend your lead.
Yeah, and that was a good job by number 15 of the Bears, Ty Tillison, fair catching that ball. And it's an easy catch, but with the way that the wind's gusting right now, that could have been an easy mistake that the Bears made there as well.
Snap back, handoff underneath. Oh, and there's a lot of running room. And there's going to be number 30. He gets out, and then he's run down by Trey Holman. And he's tackled there around the 48-yard line, and it looks like he's going to be down.
That was number 20, Peyton Stevenson from the Bears, who was able to get out and get in the open field and get that good gain.
And that was that little misdirection play that we've seen them run a couple times tonight, and they were able to be successful on it again. So real quick, as they tend to the player that's down, the Black Cats, we'll give a little acknowledgement to some of the other players that are on the field. We have number 6, Frankie Smith, number 17, Will Coleman. We've called number 2, Trey Holman tonight. We have number 20, Chris Bradley, number 13, Xavier Molina, number 21, Jawan Wright, number 14, Dontavius Daniels, number 26, DeAndre Sandals. We've called number 8, BJ Sunday tonight. We have number 22, John Luna, number 30, Marshall Eberly. Just amongst some of the other ones that we like to give recognition to on the Black Cat squad as they're out there playing hard, as they're able to get the injured player up, and we hope that young man is all right and he's able to get himself back together, as we don't want to see any of our student athletes suffer any serious injuries. It'll be snapped back by Brownsboro. Quarterback looks to throw. He's hit as he throws, and that ball is going to be knocked down by Coleman as he played that ball very well.
Yeah, Will Coleman and Frankie Smith were both there together.
Right. And they had that receiver bracketed. I don't know if there wasn't much room for him to make that catch, and Coleman with those long arms is able to go up and knock it down.
Yeah, looks like that's number 22. Is that 22?
23.
23, which is who the intended receiver was. That's Jakyle Baker was the intended receiver for the Bears, but they had that gobbled up, double teamed, and I don't think that they was going to let
man in motion, snap back, handoff to 24, and he's hit. And that time Wiley came flying in from his linebacker spot and hit the ball carrier. It's going to be a timeout by Mexia as it brings up 3rd and about 7 for the Bears. Mexia trying to preserve clock with 1:27 left. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back after the timeout.
Milestones and moments that become memories to last a lifetime. Brandy Garza at Photo Trappings Downtown Mexia is here to capture all of your milestones and moments, offering newborn, children, seniors, family, and special occasion photography. Visit Photo Trappings on Facebook for all the latest specials and mini sessions. Photo Trappings, 115 East Commerce, Downtown Mexia. Call or text 254-562-PICS.
Mexia Mexia Sports Network would like to send a big thank you to our sponsors. Some may know and some may not know this business is funded by the owner and co-owner. However, we do offer sponsorships during sports seasons. When you sponsor.
All right, and we're back with 1:27 left in the first half. Brownsboro has the ball at the Mexia 45-yard line. It'll be snapped back. The quarterback looks to throw. He throws it back with the screen action. There's a lot of green over. And that was a good job that time by Chris Bradley and Will Coleman as they were able to come up, and looks like maybe Marshall Eberly, and hold it out as the defense had flowed to the right side of the field with the action, and the quarterback just threw it back underneath to one of the upbacks coming out the opposite side, and it looked like he had a lot of running room.
Yeah, it was 24 Nichols for the Bears who was there for the throwback, and he was smart running out of bounds, saving a timeout for the Bears.
Bears up to the line of scrimmage. The quarterback rolls to his right, and he throws it, and it's going to be Nichols again, and he's ushered out of bounds again around the 19-yard line. So he's doing exactly what James just said, and he's helping Brownsboro to preserve some timeouts by getting out of bounds. And right now, if you're Mexia, you have to know that they're trying to get to those boundaries, because I think they only have
two. They
have two timeouts left. But the clock is your friend if you're Mexia, and you want that clock to keep rolling. Snaps back, handoff underneath. Running back has it. Oh, and then he's brought down that time. It's going to be short of the first down, and the clock's running. Brownsboro's going to use a timeout as the first half clock runs down to 1:06 left. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back after the timeout.
If you've not accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, if you've strayed away and are lost, if you need a church to call home and family, please don't put it off any longer. Your next breath is never promised. Visit Pastor James Deichler at Forest Glade Baptist Church, 4277 North Highway 14 in Mexia. He preaches straight from the Bible and never waters down the gospel. Church services are Sunday mornings starting at 10:45 a.m. A church that strives to advance the kingdom of God. Come be a part of this family.
They got all of them in now. All right, and we're back. And it'll be Brownsboro as they're working down the field with, and there's going to, the officials are resetting the play clock here with 1:06 left. There's going to be a handoff around the edge to number 23, and he's pushed out of bounds as he gets inside the 10-yard line and down to around the 5-yard line. So with 1 minute left, Mexia leading 35-21. Brownsboro has moved the ball down deep into Mexia territory as the ball will be placed right at the 5-yard line.
You know, Wells was talking about during break, this was a fast game, but in the last minute, it's taken him probably about 15 minutes just to play 1 minute, and that's the way high school football can go sometimes.
Right. As Brownsboro hustles up to the line of scrimmage. Handoff, and he looks to throw this time, and he's just out. He overthrows number 24 as they were looking for Nichols again, running that little out route out of the backfield right at the end zone line. And that time Mexia had a couple defenders there, but Nichols still had a step on him.
Yeah, I think if that ball was on point, Wallace, I think that would have been another 6 for the Bears. But luckily, it was overshot just a little bit. But it still stops the clock with 57 seconds to go before halftime. It's still 2nd and 5 for the Bears.
One man out wide to the top of the field. Rogers, he looks to throw again, and it's caught, but then he's tackled immediately. And that was a good job by the Mexia defense, as that looked like it was number 2, Trey Holman, as he was able to get to Nichols as soon as he caught it and bring him down for a short gain of about half a yard.
And that makes it 4th and goal.
Third and goal from about the 4.5-yard line. Handoff underneath, and the runner just runs right into the end zone as he came underneath the formation on that play. And that was that misdirection that they run a couple times tonight, and they found something that works there is they get Mexia flowing one way, and that back comes underneath the action and pops out the backside of it, and he was able to get just enough yardage to get in the end zone.
Yeah, and that was Jatavian Sessions, number 4 for the Bears.
That kick is up, and it's good this time. So Brownsboro is able to cut into the lead and make it a 35-28 game here with 30 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen now, Wallace, because it's crazy. I mean, this started out to be a fast game, but both teams are starting to capitalize off of the other team's mistakes, and that's what kind of slows the game down is when you start having turnovers and incomplete passes. You know, that's going to slow the game down a whole lot. So with 30 seconds to go before halftime, you know, that's in entirety for the Black Cats because they still have one timeout. And remember, on first downs, you know, the clock stops until the ball is set and the whistle's blown. So there's no telling, you know, exactly what Mejia's going to do with this ball.
You're going to have to see what Brownsboro is going to do here on the kickoff, as we've seen 2 onside kick attempts by them. They've recovered 1. And it looks like they might look to onside kick it again with where he's setting the ball up. Mejia's going to looks like they're getting ready for it. Yeah, as he moves to the right, as we saw him try to kick it deep last time, and Mexia returned it for a touchdown. And this time it's taken by Jabrian Busby, and he takes off, and he's up the middle, and he's out, and he's running, and he advances the ball inside the Brownsboro 30-yard line. And that time, Busby did exactly what we were talking about. As they attempted the onside, he went and met the ball before it could take that big bounce, and he was able to field it on the run, and he advances that ball about 21 yards or 20 yards on that return. So Mexia will take over the ball on the Brownsboro 30-yard line with 25 seconds left in the second quarter. It'll be Miller at quarterback. He's in the gun, man in motion. Miller looks, and he's running with it, and he runs out around the boundary, and he's out of bounds. A gain of about, looks like they're going to give him 1 on that play.
And I'm telling you, folks, if you're not here watching the game in person, I know you're watching it right now on Mexia Sports Network, but this has been one of the most exciting games that I've seen all year throughout all high school football. And the crazy thing about it, Wallace, we still have another half to go.
Right. And here Mexia will move back up with 21 seconds left. It'll be 2nd and 10. Miller takes a snap. He pitches it out to Wiley. Wiley breaks a tackle, and he's up the side. He makes a man miss, and he's tackled in the field of play, so Mexia will use a timeout.
Well, that stops the clock right now.
And it took him a while to blow the whistle for the timeout.
Yeah.
As Mexia was calling that as soon as the tackle was made. As Wiley advances the ball for a first down on that play as he picks up about 11 yards. No, he's going to pick up 13 on that play. And so the ball will be placed at the 17-yard line here for Mexia. And with 12 seconds left, Mexia has used their last time out, I believe. It still says 1 on the scoreboard, but I believe that was their last one. So here you maybe take a shot for the end zone through the air, and if you don't get it, you give yourself enough time to set up for your field goal unit to come out and try to put 3 on the board. As it looks like they don't have someone out there to cover, and Mexia runs, and it's a pass out to the end zone, and that was a lot of contact before the ball got there, but there's no flag comes out, and that was
looked like number 15 for the Bears.
Was that Coleman on the pass
looked
attempt?
like Coleman on the attempt, and number 15, Ty Tillison, he was there to play great defense on that, you know, which that could have been a great mistake for Mexia. I mean, not Mexia, but for the Bears.
And so it'll be Martinez on to try the field goal. Snap back, ball's down, the kick is up, and the kick is driven. And it's a little wide right. As it looked like
there's a flag down.
Yeah, we see a flag. It looks like it's going to be maybe offsides against the Bears. Oh, they're going to call a false start.
No.
Elite. Oh, because the man was lined up over the center again.
You know, and that's the thing that we talked about at the very beginning, Wallace, that ref come in on the very first extra point attempt and told the boy to scoot over because you cannot line over the center. And
you know, they're not going to do it every play.
Right.
You know, you have to know that you can't line up, and they that's what they got him for on that one. So that'll be a 5-yard. That's a mistake for Brownsboro because that'll give Mexia another 5 yards, and then it'll allow them to try the field goal again with 3 seconds left on the clock. So it'll be Martinez as he sets the tee again and takes his steps. And you have to remember the wind is blowing fairly hard across the field, and this time
it's blocked.
Oh, and then it's picked up. It's picked up by
number 4.
And here you go. And here you have Wiley who's racing down the field, and he catches him right at the end zone. But the blocked field goal was picked up and returned for a touchdown by Brownsboro as the half ended.
Wallace,
and
this is
y'all. We've talked about it.
Game.
We've talked about it all night, and there have been so many plays that are out of the norm for a football game. And that was another one to end the half as Brownsboro was able to get pressure up the middle and block the field goal attempt, pick it up, and then run it in for a touchdown.
No one coming from Mexia. And then all of a sudden you see number 5, you're like,
snap back, ball down, the kick is up, and it's good as Brownsboro ties the score 35-35. At the end of the first half. We're going to take a break for halftime. We'll be back with the commentary during the break. Then we'll be back with second half action here from Black Hat Field. Mexia 35, Brownsboro 35 in the district opener here tonight.
For over 20 years, Rachel Anderson Real Estate has been synonymous with residential and country lifestyle real estate in Limestone and the surrounding counties. Whether selling or buying, Agent Elizabeth Ferrari can help. Visit ElizabethCFerrariRealtor.com or call 254-747-1602. Real estate market knowledge, passion for helping clients.
Mexia Sports Network would like to send a big thank you to our sponsors. Some may know and some may not know this business is funded by the owner and co-owner. However, we do offer sponsorships during sports seasons. When you sponsor a spot on the Mexia Sports Network, you get advertisement during live games. Also, your sponsorship assists in obtaining shirts for our announcers and equipment that is used to bring you better services. Thank you all to past and present for your support.
Simpson Fireworks supports Mexia Black Cat football and athletics. We have items for all occasions, including gender reveals, weddings, 4th of July, and New Year's. For more information and to stay up to date, please visit our Simpson Fireworks Facebook page. Go Cats! Mexia Insurance Services proudly supports Mexia ISD, the Mexia Black Cats, and the Mexia Lady Cats. Located at 811 Milam Street and serving the Tri-County area insurance needs for over 30 years with coverages for auto, home, business, life, health, and renters as well as bonds. Call today for a free quote and a review of your current coverage. 254-562-3894. Go Cats! Milestones and moments that become memories to last a lifetime. Brandy Garza at Photo Trappings Downtown Mexia is here to capture all of your milestones and moments, offering newborn, children, seniors, family, and special occasion photography. Visit Photo Trappings on Facebook for all the latest specials and mini sessions. Photo Trappings, 115 East Commerce, Downtown Mexia. Call or text 254-562-PICS.
Heritage Real Estate LLC, voted by readers of the Mexia News as the best real estate company and best realtor for 2020, is proud to support the Mexia Black Cats. Broker and owner Mitzi Eves, as well as Heritage Realtors Pat Adams and Kelly Lauderdale, are all graduates of Mexia High School. Together, Heritage Real Estate LLC Realtors have over 30 years of real estate experience, are very involved in the community, and are dedicated to their clients. Heritage Real Estate LLC works with sellers, buyers, and investors for residential, lake properties, lots and acreage, and commercial properties in Limestone, Freestone, Leon, Robertson, Navarro, and the surrounding counties. You can find Heritage Real Estate LLC listings on Realtor.com, Zillow.com, Trulia.com, and many other websites. Call Heritage Real Estate LLC at 254-562-7899 anytime for help with all your real estate needs.
If you've not accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, if you've strayed away and are lost, if you need a church to call home and family, please don't put it off any longer. Your next breath is never promised. Visit Pastor James Deichler at Forest Glade Baptist Church, 4277 North Highway 14 in Mexia. He preaches straight from the Bible and never waters down the gospel. Church services are Sunday mornings starting at 10:45 a.m. A church that strives to advance the kingdom of God. Come be a part of this family.
Big Drip Fashion Hall is now open in Mexia. Big Drip offers a variety of the latest styles of urban clothing, serving boys and men of all sizes from toddlers to 6XL. Big Drip Fashion Hall is guaranteed to meet all of your fashion needs. Come check us out, 1335 East Milam Street in Mexia, across from Hibbett Sports.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Mexia Sports Network, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Woodman Life, Subway, Joe Fridays, Elizabeth C. Ferrari Realtor, and Big Drip Fashion Hall.
Hi, my name is Rick Kennedy, and I'm running for United States Congress here in the 17th District in Central Texas. Healthcare is far and away the most important issue to the people of Central Texas. And while our healthcare system is incredibly complex, what people want from healthcare is really quite simple. They want access to quality healthcare, and they don't want to go broke or bankrupt trying to pay for it. That's why I support the Medicare for America Act. Medicare for America will provide access to quality healthcare for all Americans. It will provide protection for bankruptcy due to healthcare costs. It will help us rein in the cost of prescription drugs by allowing the government to negotiate prices with pharmaceutical companies, and unlike other proposals, will not outlaw private health insurance.
friends. Hi, my name is Freddie Greer Sr., and I'm a candidate for Limestone County, Mexia, Texas City Council District 2. For over 20 years, I have volunteered my time, energy, and leadership to serve my community. I'm a proud father and a concerned citizen. I'm approachable, available, and I want to serve as your next City Council member for District 2, and I approve this message.
you by Eagle Auto Parts, located on Main Street. For more information, visit eagleauto.com.
You're listening to Mexia Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you by Greer Time Media, Posey Napa Auto Park, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.
Milestones and moments that become memories to last a lifetime. Brandy Garza at Photo Trappings Downtown Mexia is here to capture all of your milestones and moments, offering newborn, children, seniors, family, and special occasion photography. Visit Photo Trappings on Facebook for all the latest specials and mini sessions. Photo Trappings, 115 East Commerce, Downtown Mexia. Call or text 254-562-PICS. Simpson Fireworks supports Mexia Black Cat football and athletics. We have items for all occasions, including gender reveals, weddings, 4th of July, and New Year's. For more information and to stay up to date, please visit our Simpson Fireworks Facebook page. Go Cats!
Big Drip Fashion Hall is now open in Mexia. Big Drip offers a variety of the latest styles of urban clothing, serving boys and men of all sizes from toddlers to 6XL. Big Drip Fashion Hall is guaranteed to meet all of your fashion needs. Come check us out, 1335 East Milam Street in Mexia, across from Hibbett Sports.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Mexia Sports Network, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Woodman Life, Subway, Joe Fridays, Elizabeth C. Ferrari Realtor, and Big Drip Fashion Hall.
For over 20 years, Rachel Anderson Real Estate has been synonymous with residential and country lifestyle real estate.
Welcome back to Black Cat Field, as it is still halftime with the game tied 35-35. And what we're going to do right now is go over a couple of high school scores right now. We got Crockett at Westwood, and Crockett's leading that 38-23. You got Hillsboro and Venus. Hillsboro's leading that in the fourth quarter 65-7. Alto and Centerville are playing, and Alto's leading that in the fourth quarter 24-20. Wortham and Frost just right up the road from us at halftime as well, and Wortham's got that right now 44-21. Bosqueville is hosting Itasca. They're in the third quarter with 7 minutes to go, with Bosqueville winning 49-0. You got Kearns hosting Italy, and Italy is literally on top right now in the third quarter, 26-0. Mildred is hosting Gateway Gators, and Mildred's on top in the second quarter, 26-8. Robinson's hosting Gerald High School, and Gerald is up on the Rockets in the third quarter, 23-8. Rogers is down in Franklin, and that's a tight game in the third quarter with 7 minutes to go, with Rogers in the lead, 27-23. Salado has traveled up 35 to play Conley in Lacey Lakeview, and right now in the third quarter, Salado was up 14-9. Bynum High School is hosting Mildred, and Mildred's up on Bynum 40-19 in the fourth quarter. Golson and Coolidge will play, I guess that's tomorrow. Marlin and Cayuga is still a close one in the second quarter, 16-0 with Marlin in the lead at that game. Fairfield and Tig will also play tomorrow night at 7:30 at Lions Stadium. Mexia and Brownsboro here at the Black Cat Fields tied 35-35. Gatesville, China Springs. China Springs is up on Gatesville 45-13 in the third quarter. The number one team in 5A, Ennis Lions, are up on Waxahachie 35-0 in the third quarter. And Midway is now trailing South Grand Prairie Warriors in the third quarter 13-10. And that's our high school scores right now. We'll take a quick break right quick and be back with some follow-ups on the first half with Wallace High and James Deichler.
As we come back here, as halftime is drawing to a close, the score again is 35-all Mexia and Brownsboro at halftime here. You know, it's been a high-scoring first half here, James, with some, we talked about it during halftime. There's been some plays that have been completely out of the normal for Mexia, and I'm not sure about Brownsboro, but some things that we haven't seen and you don't see too much in a football game that has led to both teams being able to put up 35 in one half.
Yeah, it's basically with Brownsboro making all the mistakes in the first quarter, and then in the second quarter it totally flip-flopped, and Mexia started making a couple of mistakes and got Brownsboro back into the game. And looking at the intensity of both teams right now, what's going to happen? Are we going to get 70 more points before this game is over? You know, it's been a long game, but it's been a very exciting game. And if you're not here in person watching this, I mean, it's just the atmosphere is just crazy.
Right. You know, like you were saying, if you would have if you were in the stadium and you looked over on the Mexia side in the first the first quarter, you know, Mexia side was rocking. You know, the fans were up in the bleachers, you know, cheering and clapping and screaming, and the sideline was bouncing around. And then the second quarter came, and Brownsboro started making a couple plays, and Mexia made a couple mistakes. And then you could hear the Brownsboro fans cheering and their sideline jumping and the players flying around. And then it just kind of culminated to the end where both teams put points on the board there within a minute, in the last minute of the first half. And so we'll start this second half with Brownsboro kicking the ball to Mexia. And it's been kind of adventurous in the kicking game tonight as we've seen some onside kicks, which is what it looks like we're going to get again here from Brownsboro as they do try to onside kick it. And it's going to be Jabrian Busby again who corrals it, as he did a good job once again of coming up and meeting that ball before the 10-yard marker and pulling it out of the air.
Yeah, and that was almost dangerous because, like you said, it's good to come up and get that ball before it takes that initial big bounce. But it kind of bounced around in Jabrian's hands a little bit, and luckily he was able to get a grab of it before the defenders got there. And Mexia will receive the ball on the Bears' 46-yard line to start the third quarter.
So Mexia will take over here. It'll be Miller under center. Snap back. It's going to be a quick pass out to the flats, and it's going to be caught there. And a 10-yard gain there on first down. We're going to get a flag. Looks like we're going to probably get an ineligible receiver downfield, as that was – is that number 12?
Looks like it might be a hold.
Or holding against Mexia.
Well, that's the second time.
Yeah, it's going to be – well, it looked like it was a receiver downfield trying to block for the runner. So it's actually going to be marked off from the spot of the foul, which will be basically a 1-yard loss play on the play, and it'll remain first down. So it'll be 1st and 11 here for the Black Cats, as that was a 9-yard gain that time. I'm not sure if that was 12 or 22 on the catch. It looks like maybe 22.
But that was the second time that they had a wideout out there with no one covering him.
Miller, he hands off to Jones around the left side, and Jones is wrestled down after a gain of 2 as he moves the ball down to the Brownsboro 44-yard line.
Now, I know Brownsboro's not used to Mexia having a wideout out there.
Right.
But if you have one line up out there uncovered, your quarterback has got to see that immediately.
And that's what Miller did. He just took the snap and raised up and threw it out there. And that's when they're getting Brownsboro caught trying to stack the box with all 11 men. Snap back to Miller. Hand off to Wiley. Oh, and the ball's on the ground. And Brownsboro recovers as Wiley fumbled there on that play. So to start the second half, Mexia fumbles the ball, and Brownsboro is taking over at their own 41-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like Wiley was going up there to the left, and he just got hit right on that football as he was going down. And, fortunately for the Bears, they were able to jump on it. But unfortunately for the Black Cats, we didn't even get to waste a minute on offense before we made a mistake. But now it's time for the defense to step up and get that dominance back.
Right, and if you're Mexia's defense right here, you want to stop, because this is how Brownsboro's been able to score their points tonight, is off of Mexia turnovers. And it's going to be a handoff up the middle to number 24, and that's Nichols as he bowls forward for a gain of about 4 on that run.
Yeah, tonight Nichols has been the stud for the Bears, number 4 for the Bears. He's had his good plays here and there, but the go-to guy tonight has been number 24, Nichols, for the Bears, and he gained about 3 yards on that, and it looks like they're probably going to take their big guys and just start pounding it up the middle and try to set up that wheel around there on the left side.
Now they bring another receiver out to the bottom. Handoff up the middle again to 24, and he's tripped up there. But he falls forward for a gain of about 2. And so it'll bring up third and 5 here for the Bears. The ball's set at the Brownsboro 48-yard line.
That was a good job by the defense, making sure that gain was minimum, because now with third and 3 to go, you got to think, if you get a good stop here, Brownsboro's going to not know what to do.
Handoff underneath. And that's just that misdirection play we've seen them run all night, and there's a gain of about 5 on that play. And he moves the ball across midfield to the Mexia 46-yard line.
And that's basically been Brownsboro's game plan, is run up the middle twice, then misdirection on that third play, and that's what's been getting the Black Cats caught off guard. They've been trying to stack that box just like the Bears do, but have become up short on that misdirection play.
And there's going to be a handoff up the middle, and the Black Cats are there this time, as that was looks like Trey Jones, Dontavius Daniels, and Jacob Adams there in the middle of the line, who stacked up the runner on that play, and there was no gain on that first down.
Yeah, Jatravian Sessions was the ball carrier. He's usually been getting about 6 to 11 yards almost on each carry whenever he runs it up the middle. He's a big back to stop, but that was a great job by the defensive line to stand up the Bears' offensive line for an initial no gain.
Mahel line up on defense, snap back, hand off to 9, and he's looking to throw. Oh, and he's moving around, and then he's hit by a couple Black Cats. He's still moving, though. He bounces off a couple tacklers, and he gets back across the line of scrimmage for a short gain of 1. That'll bring up 3rd and 9, as it looked like Mahel was able to get to him in the backfield, and he was just able to kind of spin and spin and spin and keep himself up until he fell forward for that 1 yard gain.
Yeah, you got to give that tackle to the secondary, Wallace, because the Bears were trying to catch the Black Cats off guard. But the defensive backs, they did a great job maintaining coverage on the receivers.
And right here, 3rd down, you want to look for that underneath action. There's going to be a hand up and a pass out to the flat. Oh, and then it's a great tackle over there by, I believe that's
Jarrell
Frankie Smith, who comes up. It was a pass out to the flats to number 24, Nichols.
That's actually BJ.
Oh, no, that was
Sunday
actually 20. No, that was Frankie from his cornerback spot over on the side. As the pass went out to the receiver, as soon as he caught it, Frankie broke out of his coverage and came forward and made a good and solid tackle on the ball on the receiver to stop him for a short gain. It'll bring up 4th and about 6 here.
And the Bears haven't really been in this position very much tonight.
They're going to overload, and the quarterback drops back to pass, and he's going to complete it pass, but he's hit short of the sticks, and that'll be a turnover on downs for Brownsboro as Mejia's defense is able to hold, and the offense will take over now at the Mejia 41-yard line.
Yeah, there's a great job by Mejia's defense coming out and making sure that, they get the ball back quick. It doesn't matter how you get the turnovers, if it's on downs, if it's an interception, if it's a fumble, but a great stand by the Mejia defense to make sure that, Brownsboro couldn't get that momentum back on their side.
Be Miller under center. Man in motion, snap back. Hand off to Holman around the side. Oh, and he's drugged down. And there goes the flag. He had his hand all the way in the back of Holman's pads.
Yeah, you can see them trying to help fix his pads back.
Right. And you hear the Brownsboro fans, and they are not happy about it, but it was a clear horse collar.
Yeah.
As Trey had broke out past the defender, and he just reached up and grabbed him and yanked his pads and yanked him down from behind.
And that's one of those great Dallas Cowboy new rules that, come into effect in football. And it's not, to stop the exciting play of football, but it is to help cut down and minimize injuries, because we saw that tackle on Terrell Owens, whenever it fractured his foot from Roy Williams when he made that tackle, that next year they put that play, that call into effect, and it's actually cut down on a lot of injuries.
B. Miller under center, ball's at the 43-yard line, hand off to Wiley up the middle, and he bangs off a couple of tacklers, and he picks up about 7 on that run.
And that was a good thing to see, them putting the ball right back into Wiley's hands after he turned the ball over on our last possession, because you want that running back to gain that confidence back so his head will continue to be in the game to be able to do what his skills and his talent can do, and that's drive the ball, which he gained about 7 yards on that carry. And
the ball's going to be spotted at the 37-yard line of Brownsboro. Miller under center, snap back, handoff underneath to Holman. Holman out around the side again.
It looked like they did it again.
But they're grabbing him up around his helmet and his shoulders every time to pull him down, mainly because he's just running away from them, and they're just reaching for what they can grab.
And he's not a little boy. He's pretty thick and pretty solid.
And Holman's able to pick up the first down on that run as he advances the ball up to the 32-yard line. A run of about 5 yards on that. Snap back to Miller. And Miller keeps it out around the left side. He cuts up, and he turns his back, and he just pushes himself back as he stays up on his feet. And he, Miller was hit behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And he just turned his back and kept pushing his legs and got some help from some of his running backs and linemen. And he pushed that ball all the way across the chains for a first down.
And that's some great intensity that we see from Miller there. Like you said, he was hit about 1 or 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but he continued to fight. But the good thing that helped him as well is I saw number 5 coming out from that little crowd that they had over there. So he also had some great blocking to assist him to get that first down.
Mejia moves up to the line. Miller under center. Snap back. Handoff to Jones. Up the middle, Jones bounces off a couple runners. He's still rolling, and he's down inside the 10 to about the 5-yard line. As that time, Trey Jones was able to find a crease, and he just ran, kept his pads low, and bust through the line. Snap back to Miller, handoff to Jones again, and he's going to be stopped that time at about the 3-yard line after a gain of about 2. It'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 3 for the Black Cats as they went quick on that play.
And that's one thing that you get to see from the Black Cats is, you have a four-horn dragon back there with your running backs and your quarterbacks, which all have different running styles. And Trey Jones is basically a north to south running back, and you see that the power that he contributes into that line as he got down to the 3.
Snap by Miller, handoff, and it's going to be Wiley into the end zone as.
And he is in for the touchdown.
Yeah, and that's going to be a touchdown by Wiley and Mejia. That's going to increase their lead, and Mejia takes the lead here in the third quarter with 4:36 left on the clock. 41-35. It'll be Martinez coming out for the extra point. Snap back, ball's down, kick is up, and the kick is good. As we've seen some extra action there after the whistle on these last couple of plays, and Mejia and Brownsboro are able to keep their heads, and both teams move to their sideline. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back as we get set for the kickoff. Mejia leads Brownsboro 42-35, 4:36 left in the third quarter.
And athletics. We have items for all occasions, including gender reveals, weddings, 4th of July, and New Year's. For more information and to stay up to date, please visit our Simpson Fireworks Facebook page. Go Cats!
Heritage Real Estate LLC, voted by readers of the Mexia News as the best real estate company and best realtor for 2020, is proud to support the Mexia Black Cats. Broker and owner Mitzi Eves, as well as Heritage Realtors Pat Adams and Kelly Lauderdale, are all graduates of Mexia High School. Together, Heritage Real Estate LLC Realtors have over 30 years of real estate experience, are very involved in the community, and are dedicated to their clients.
All right, and we're back here in third quarter action from Black Cat Field as Mejia was just able to score a touchdown and add the extra point. Now we'll look for the Black Cats to kick off to the Bears, as it'll be Martinez and Davila. And it'll be Davila who drives it deep. And over the returner's head, it'll be fielded at the 5-yard line.
And kneeled down at the 8.
Kneeled at the 8.
They almost ran into each other when they received that kickoff.
Right.
I don't know what.
And it looks like the Brownsboro coaches are trying to say that he fair caught it, but he didn't. He caught it and then took a knee.
Well, it wouldn't matter if he fair caught it or not, but he still took a knee.
The new rule is if you fair catch the kickoff, you get to advance it to the 25.
Right.
But he didn't fair catch it. He just caught it and took a knee, so that ball should have been placed at the 8. Okay.
I don't know.
Well, they moved it out to the 25. It'll be Brownsboro's ball. They pitch out quick to the left side. And he has a wall of defenders. And then he's going to be knocked out of bounds about the 35 as he crosses midfield. And that time they just caught Mexia off guard as they overloaded the left side of their offense and pitched the ball out quick to the running back. And he had a wall of blockers out in front of him, and Mejia's defenders weren't able to get to him before he got down the field.
No, once he rounded that corner, he was gone, and there was nothing that Mexia could do but try to catch up. And luckily for Mexia, we've got that speed in the secondary that we're able to do that.
So Brownsboro move up to the line, ball spotted at the 34-yard line, handoff up the middle. It'll be Nichols as he bangs forward across the 30 and down to the 27-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 7 on that run.
And I think right now, Wallace, that's probably what the Bears are going to do. You know, they caught Mexia off guard that one time, so now they're going to try to just drive it up the middle and then try to catch them on that wheel around that they've been successful on all night.
Bring up 2nd and 3 here for the Bears. As if you're Mejia's defense, you really want to get a stop here. Be a snap back, and a quarterback keeper is the tailback just gets behind him and just starts pushing, and he's still moving. As that time the quarterback just kept it, and then the tailback came in behind him and just started pushing him and carrying him forward. You know, and if you're Mexia there, that's why you have to play low. And when they start pushing, you start reaching and grabbing and driving your feet and your body through the legs of the offensive players. Because when you're playing high, they have 3 or 4 people pushing. They're going to keep driving. And here you got 21 under center, snap back. Handoff underneath, and it's going to be number 6. He's out around the right side. Oh, and then he's met right there by, I believe that's Will Coleman, who hits him right at about the 15-yard line and brings him down after a gain of about half a yard there.
Yeah, Frankie Smith came in and almost had a shoestring tackle on him there, kind of slowed him up a little bit to let Coleman come in and finish that tackle off.
We'll bring up 2nd and 9 here for the Bears with the ball spotted at the Mexia 14-yard line. Snap back. He looks to throw, and there's going to be a throw out to Nichols. And he's going to run into the end zone as it was just a simple little play-action boot there from the quarterback, and he dumped it off to the running back out of the backfield, and Nichols turned it upfield and ran into the end zone.
Yeah, that was a great play by the receiver there for the Bears, Wallace. They had Frankie Smith there on a great block. And that sometimes when you're young like that, you can get caught up on a hold. But
snaps back. The kick is up, and the extra point is good. So Brownsboro is able to tie the score once again at 42. It'll be 42 all with 2:38 left in the third quarter. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more third quarter action from Black Hat Field.
Network would like to send a big thank you to our sponsors. Some may know and some may not know this business is funded by the owner and co-owner. However, we do offer sponsorships during sports seasons. When you sponsor a spot on the Mexia Sports Network, you get advertisement during live games. Also, your sponsorship assists in obtaining shirts for our announcers and equipment that is used to bring you better services. Thank you all to past and present for your support.
Mexia Insurance Services proudly supports Mexia ISD, the Mexia Black Cats, and the Mexia Lady Cats. Located at 811 Milam Street and serving the Tri-County area insurance needs for over 30 years with coverages for auto, home, business, life, health.
All right, and we're back as Brownsboro is set to kick off to Mexia once again after they were able to score another touchdown. It'll be an onside kick attempt, and that ball was hit.
That was touched
by a Brownsboro player prior to the 10-yard mark, and there still hasn't been a flag come out as a Brownsboro player hit that ball.
A yard short of the 50-yard line.
Mexia was able to recover, but that should have been a penalty against Brownsboro.
I'm not understanding how you don't see that. I mean, it's clear as day, and the referee was right there on the play.
He kicked that ball about the 47, 48-yard line. And fortunate enough, without the flag, fortunate enough for Mexia, he kicked it and it went straight to one of the Mexia players, and they were able to secure it. So it'll be Mejia's ball on the 47 of their own 47. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, and Darrell Wiley is met right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. They'll bring up 2nd and 10.
But going back to that play, Wallace, it's imperative that these referees know that there's going to be a lot of one-side kicks by Brownsboro, so you've got to make sure that you're keeping an eye on that ball, making sure that it's not being touched illegally, which, I know Mexia got the ball back on the 47-yard line, but still, that's about a 10-yard penalty that should have been called for us.
We a handoff to Holman, and he breaks through the line, and he's running down the field. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Mexia. Yeah. And Mejia's able to strike quick that time on a simple give to Holman coming around the edge, and he saw a hole, and he cut up through the middle of the line, and then he's shot out the right side, and nobody could catch him.
Yeah, that was a great play by Coleman. He started to the left but saw that it was clogged up, but then looked to the right and saw it was just wide open and ran for the 6.
Snap back, ball's up, kick is good. So Mexia once again takes the lead 49-42 with 1:48 left in the third quarter. I'm sorry. It's been kind of a shootout tonight, James.
It's been a Are you sure we're not at a 6-man game right now?
It's been one thing after another, and play after play, and both teams have had players make some plays, and there's been some mistakes that each team has been able to capitalize on, and right now Mexia is holding fast and staying in the lead, and Brownsboro has been able to answer every time so far, and we'll see what they're able to do here once they receive this kick from Mexia.
Yeah, I think this game's going to come down to who's going to make the last mistake in this game, and it might come down to an extra point.
And so we'll get the kickers marking their steps off. It'll be Davila taking his steps. Martinez as well as he gets ready to signal the kick team as the cover team spreads out. And it'll be Martinez. He puts it up high and into the middle of the covers, and they're going to just fall on it right about the 25-yard line.
And he didn't fair catch that, so don't put it up to the 25. But that could have been another one of those dangerous kickoffs right there, because you don't know how that ball's fixing to bounce.
Right. So the ball's going to be spotted at about the 20. Well, right on the 25 is where they're going to put the ball. So Mejia's defense out on the field once again against Brownsboro's offense. Brownsboro up to the line of scrimmage, snap back, handoff around the right side is number 6, and he's brought down right there, but looks like number 64 there for the Black Cats, along with B.J. Sunday, able to make that tackle.
Yeah, that was James Abraham, number 64 from Mexia, to have the initial hit on looked like number 6 for the Bears. He had a good momentum start going, but Abraham was there to stop it real quick.
So you'll have the Bears up to the line of scrimmage here, 2nd and about 4. Snap back. It's going to be a quick pass out to the flats. The receiver catches it, and he's up the sideline. He picks up enough for the first down before being pushed out of bounds. It'll be a pickup of about 6 on that play. The ball spotted at the Brownsboro 37-yard line.
And that looked like number 23, Jakyle Baker, on the wideout, who was able to corral that pass in and pick the first down up. And luckily for Mexia, they was able to get over there to the sideline and stop that momentum.
The Bears up to the line quick. Man in motion. Oh, there's going to be a false start there.
Oh, we have those in this game? I just wanted to make sure.
I think that may have been the first, maybe the first or second one of the game so far. It's been moving so fast. And that time, the whole left side of the offensive line moved and the right side didn't. So somebody wasn't on the same page.
Everybody but the center. Yeah, I love going to YouTube and watching those the funny referee calls in NFL and college. You know, sometimes it's great to just get away from the aspect of the game and just have fun with it.
Right. Brownsboro up to the line again. One wide receiver out top. Snap back, handoff underneath on the misdirection. Oh, and he's flipped there. And that was
looked like number 11 for Mexia.
Yeah, that was Trey Jones there on that tackle, as the runner was able to pick up about 2 yards on that.
That's actually a great stop, even though it was about a 7-yard gain. That was a great stop.
And as the third quarter winds down with 8 seconds left and clock still rolling, looks like Brownsboro is going to let the third quarter end, and we'll take a break here as we've come to the end of the third quarter. Mexia leading 49-42. We'll be back with fourth quarter action from Black Cat Field.
Heritage Real Estate LLC, voted by readers of the Mexia News as the best real estate company and best realtor for 2020, is proud to support the Mexia Black Cats. Broker and owner Mitzi Eves, as well as Heritage Realtors Pat Adams and Kelly Lauderdale, are all graduates of Mexia High School. Together, Heritage Real Estate LLC realtors have over 30 years of real estate experience, are very involved in the community, and are dedicated to their clients. Heritage Real Estate LLC works with sellers, buyers, and investors for residential, lake properties, lots and acreage, and commercial properties in Limestone, Freestone, Leon, Robertson, Navarro, and the surrounding counties. You can find Heritage Real Estate LLC listings on Realtor.com, Zillow.com, Trulia.com, and many other websites. Call Heritage.
All right, and we're back. Snap back, handoff to number 4 up the middle, and he's just powering through tacklers, and then he's chopped down there. Oh, and then there's some after the play, and there's the referees there to break it up. And that time, Brownsboro just caught Mexia off guard as they came out quick as the official set the ball and blew the whistle and snapped it and gave it to big number 4, rumbling up the middle, and Mexia was still trying to get in position, and he was able to pick up big yardage that time, moving it across midfield and down to the Mexia 37-yard line.
And that's the thing about Jatavian Sessions from the Bears. You know, he gets in open field, and he's just hard to tackle.
Snap back, handoff up the middle again, and that time the Black Cats were there. And they're able to stop the runner for no gain.
It looked like Christian Clark was the first one to get in there and make that initial hit to stop the running back at the line of scrimmage. I thought they was going to give him about a yard gain, Wallace, but it looked like they moved it back to the line of scrimmage. So that was no gain, and now you got 2nd and 10 with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I think the Bears are going to be happy just trying to drive the ball down and run the clock.
Man in motion, snap back, handoff underneath, and it's going to be number 4 again, and that time he's met by the Black Cats, and he's brought down after a gain of about
5.
A gain of about 5 on that run. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 here.
Yeah, Jabron Busby, number 7 for the Black Cats, came up and hit Sessions right there pretty solid. And stopped his momentum. And that's what you need from your linebackers, Wallace. You need them to come in and put a helmet on somebody.
Right.
And sustain their dominance right there in the middle.
And it's 3rd and 5. Mexia making some switches. It'll be 21 under center. Snap back. He rolls out to his right, and he's overthrows.
Oh! We got a flag.
There's going to be a flag.
Probably a hold on number 77 from Brownsboro, and that's going to be.
Yeah, there were a couple of Black Cats that came flying through that line of scrimmage that time. And it looks like Big 77 just reached out and grabbed one of the Black Cats.
Yeah, that's number 77, Will Klieg, a sophomore for the Bears. You know, like you said, you had a slew of Black Cats just coming up the line unblocked, and there's nothing that he could do but protect his quarterback by holding that defender. You know, but that was almost dangerous for the Bears as well, because we could have easily had an interception and ran it back for 6. If who was that on the end over there?
It looked like that was Miller that time, flying out from his safety spot, and he was looking to secure the tackle, which looked like he would have been there even if he would have made the catch. But that ball was an errant pass that could have been intercepted easily. And Brownsboro will come up to the line with 3rd and about 15. It's going to be a rollout. Oh, and there's pressure right in the backfield, and Mexia is right there as Nichols takes the pass. And that's going to be a tackle for a loss of about 1. And then there's some
extracurricular activity on Wiley over there. I didn't see who pushed.
You just saw him getting off the pile, and then Wiley goes somersaulting across everybody.
Well, you saw that starting to kind of build up a little bit there on that last possession. You know, a bit of extracurricular activity going on.
Before the penalty, it'll bring up 4th and about 17, and we'll see how the penalty goes.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Bears.
And that'll be a dead ball foul. It'll be the first unsportsmanlike on that player, but that's a 15-yard penalty after the play. So it is a loss of down on that, so it brings up 4th down, and they'll mark off 15 more yards from the end of that play, which was a loss of about 3 yards for the Bears, and that's going to mark the ball all the way back to the Brownsboro 40-yard line.
Make it about a 4th and 30.
So not only did Mexia hold on that, Mexia was able to flip the field that time, and now the Bears will have to punt with Holman back deep, snap back to 24. Oh, and he barely gets it away, and that ball's going to spin and kick up, and Holman's going to have a chance to return it as he's out around the left side. He cuts back, he spins, and he's up through the middle, and he gets a good return back out to about the 27-yard line.
Yeah, that was a good job.
And there's some after the whistle rustling going on at the bottom of that pile.
Yeah, this is a point in the game, Wallace, where the refs have got to really step in and take control, because if you don't, it could easily get out of hand right now.
Right, you got tempers flaring. Guys are getting frustrated with what may be going on with the game winding down, and Brownsboro not being able to get anything on offense there, and Mexia already having the lead. You know, if you're both teams, the coaching staff are trying to keep both teams under control, but as an official, you really want to kind of reel that in before anything happens. It'll be Miller under center. Snap back. That'll be early motion this time against Mexia. Not really sure who it was that went in motion. I saw
Trey go in motion first, but I didn't see who the second player was.
There was a legal motion, man. I'm not sure who else moved early. On that call. We couldn't hear the official. But Mexia will come out as they have a 5-yard mark off. It'll be bringing up 1st and 15. The ball will be spotted at the Mexia 23-yard line. Snap back to Miller. Handoff to Wiley. He's out around the right side.
He's gone.
And no!
Wow.
That was a great block on the edge by Busby. And now they're gonna call it a holding.
I'm not understanding that.
That was a great pancake block that time by Busby as he led the way for Wiley coming around the edge.
I mean, there's nothing else Busby could have done besides his job. And if you go back on film, and I hope the referees are able to go back and see the games that they call, and saw that was bluntly a legal block from the Black Cats. And so, I mean, I don't know what they're seeing on that side. I know we're a little bit further away from the ball, Wallace, but
Right.
I mean, when you see a block, it's a block.
I mean, he came around lead blocking for Wiley, and the cornerback or safety, whomever that was coming up for the tackle, and Busby just hit him face to face and drove him into the ground. And
well, I'll tell you this: when they go back and watch film, he won't get deemed for that. You know, he went out there, he did his job. But we can't help that he hit somebody a little bit harder than they hit him.
So it'll be Miller under center again. Snap back. Miller keeps it, and he's going to just take it down to the ground as the pursuit was there.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to come around on that left side there, but the Bears did a great job of containing that outside movement over there and stopped Miller for about a loss of 2 yards on that carry.
And so now the ball is placed at the Mexia 27-yard line. Bring up 2nd and 11 for the Black Cats. Going to be a handoff up the middle. And that's DeAndre Sandals on the carry as he rumbles forward for a gain of about 4 yards on that run.
And that's another young man in that backfield who can really make something happen real quick.
Right. You know, we see him a lot on defense, you know, him being the younger of the backs, the sophomore in the group. But we know that he's able to run it, and he's able to get in and get him a carry here in this game. And for positive yards, this is a good sign for that young man. So Mexia moves back up to the line of scrimmage. Miller and gun. Going to be a timeout here for Mexia. So with 8:12 left in the fourth quarter, Mexia leading 49-42. We have a timeout for the Black Cats. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll be back after this quick commercial break. And we're back here. Mexia ball. Snap back to Miller. Handoff up the middle. Not much doing on that third down play. That's going to bring up fourth down here. And Mexia's going to send out the punt unit. I don't know. That was 3rd and about 8. And we just simple little dive action up the middle.
I was actually expecting them to come out with a screenplay.
I thought that they were going to do the little play action with Miller and try to go down and get that first down. So Mexia will bring out Davila back to punt. Be a snap back. Davila kind of mishandles it. He rolls out and he boots it away. And that ball hits and takes a good Mexia bounce and roll as it rolls inside the 30 and down to the Brownsboro 26-yard line. So with 7:25 left, Brownsboro will take over on offense. Mexia leading 49-42. You know, and that time Mexia seemed like they had something going, you know, and then they had a couple big penalties that really kind of hurt them on that one. The biggest being the holding call on the touchdown run by Wiley that brought that touchdown back.
Yeah, and that was a big call because that's going to put the Black Cats up by 2 scores. And with the clock running down in the fourth quarter, you know, that's going to put the Bears, you know, in intensity mode. So
here we go as Brownsboro takes over on offense. They have trips to the right, and they do. They run the little quick pitch out to the right side of the field, and they have a runner. He's just moving down the field, and we have a flag back at about the 45-yard line. Back behind the play. Looks like we might get a holding there.
think maybe it was a makeup call.
Maybe so.
I'm just joking.
I don't know. That was back behind the play, but they do call a holding against Brownsboro, and looks like the spot of the foul will be about the Brownsboro 44-yard line, so they'll mark 10 yards off from that spot.
That will still make it about.
It'll be
1st and 4.
Yeah.
1st and 3.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, 1st and about 3 here for the Bears after the penalty yardage is marked off. And we've seen them run that twice now. They line up trips to that one side, and then they just quick pitch it out to the runner and try to get a bunch of blockers out in front of him. Snap back, handoff up the middle to 24, and Mejia's there, and they meet him right at the line. And that time they blow the whistle, and 24, after Mejia stops, he comes out and he's pointing like he's still running.
Yeah.
But that's something we saw in the first half, is they let those plays go on for a little extended amount of time, and they were able to keep pushing and get yards after the fact. That time they blew the whistle.
Yeah, I mean, the Cat stopped him after he got the first down and pushed him back about 5 yards,
Right.
and finally they blew the whistle, and Nichols was like, hey, I'm still going to free you. Of course you are once they let up.
Snap back, handoff underneath the 10. Oh, and he's wrestled down right there by Trey Jones after a gain of about 3 on that run.
Yeah, that was number 10 for the Bears. Shadian Jennings, a senior for the Bears. I think that might have been his first carry for the night, and Trey Jones came up and stopped him for only about a 3-yard gain.
So Brownsboro's offense out to the line here. Rogers under center. Man in motion, snap back. He drops back to pass. He's hit as he throws it, and that ball's going to float. Oh! And it's right through the arms of number 20, Chris Bradley. As he was playing that ball perfectly, there wasn't a receiver near the ball. There were 3 Black Cat defenders there.
Well, they had number 12 for the Bears, Alex Sealier, wide open in the middle, but I think what disrupted that pass, Wallace, was
Daniels coming
in and letting the quarterback know, hey, I'm not going to let you make that throw.
Yeah, he and it looked like maybe Sandals met at the quarterback in a hurry and made him get rid of it before he could really lock eyes on his receiver, and that ball just floated in the air. There'll be a snap back to Rogers. He rolls out to his right, and there's a defender in his face again. That ball's thrown up for grabs. Oh,
pass interference.
That should be pass interference against the offensive player.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Wow. And there
Alex Sealier actually grabbed Trey Jones by the shoulder pads.
Trey Holman went up high to intercept that pass, and he just grabbed him by the pads and yanked him out the air.
And you could hear the Mejia crowd over there. I mean, I think that's the first time we've heard them in the second half all night. But, I mean, you could hear the boos coming. It was right in the middle, and I can understand if it was a crowd of people, but it was wide open, and you saw Holman just get jerked to the ground.
And, I mean, there was not a flag from any official on that play, which is – and get back. And that's a mistake there by B.J. Sunday, as he went off sides prior to the snap.
But the problem is he got back on the side before the ball was even moved and the whistle was blown.
But he crossed the line, so he's unevaded, so they blow the whistle. If he just jumps in the neutral zone, he can get back. Once you pass those blockers, they're going to blow that whistle every time.
Well, he was still in the zone, what I consider the zone.
You just want to be smarter on that play because it's a punt. You don't need to jump.
And you clearly saw that they were going for the block on that play. But that gives Brownsboro an initial 5 yards.
And they put their offense back out as it brings up 4th and 3 here. No, 4th and 3 here instead of 4th and 8. So instead of a punt, you're going to get Brownsboro's offense coming out to run a play.
And I understand how they've been driving the ball at the middle, but do you think that this is still a wise play?
It's going to be a quick pitch. And he's brought down before right at the 45 and before the first down marker. So it'll be a turnover on downs there for Brownsboro, as Trey Holman did a great job of flying up from that cornerback spot and chopping down big number 9 as he came out off that pitch.
Now, I think that was a coaching mistake there, Wallace, by the Bears, because, I understand that you've been driving the ball pretty good.
Right.
But with 6 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, and you're showing that you've been able to stop Mejia's offense, why would you give them the ball back with a short field to go?
Yeah, so Mejia will take over at the Brownsboro 45 here with 5:57 left in the fourth quarter. Miller under center. And we're going to get a flag and a whistle. I'm not sure.
Number 24 Nichols he's totally lining up offsides every time goes up there. They called
offsides, but they pointed towards Mejia. Wait. What?
I don't know.
He called offsides, and
I'm not understanding the call. No one moved.
Yeah, nobody moved. We never snapped the ball.
And everyone was covered. So
I'm not sure on that call, everybody. It was an offsides call against Mejia. And Miller looks to throw. He throws it deep. He has Holman. Oh, and it's just off of his fingertips. As Holman had gotten behind the defensive back, he checked up a little bit because it looked like Miller may run it. And that seemed to be what kept him from being able to get underneath that pass.
Well, that was a good play by Miller. He sat there and pump faked that first time, then pulled it down and started running around. And he had Trey Jones wide open at about the 20-yard line, just went a little bit too far.
So Mejia will regroup, and they'll get ready for their 2nd and 15 attempt here. They get the play out of the huddle and move up to the line of scrimmage. Miller under center. Brownsboro looking to bring pressure. It'll be Holman as he runs right into the grasp of a defender. And Brownsboro's going back to loading all 11 people in the box and really putting 2 or 3 outside the tackle to try to keep Mejia from getting outside of them.
Yeah, and I understand Mejia's game plan. They're a run-first team.
Right.
But with 2nd and 15 to go, you still might want to try to misdirection play or something else besides of what your normal offense is to try to gain at least 5 to 7 yards to make that third down a more manageable third down.
And right here it'll be 3rd and 16 for the Black Cats as they're backed up. Brownsboro bringing pressure. And Miller makes a man miss, and he's out around the right side. And he's still running, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and that was all Miller there because they had him for about a 10-yard loss, and he just said, whoop.
And right there, with the down and distance, Brownsboro was just widening their guys out and then bringing them off the edge where Mejia couldn't block them. And at that point, Miller's having to deal with 2 or 3 unaccounted for players rushing in on him, and he just made a great play to pick up about 6 yards on that and get it back across midfield.
And it looks like Brownsboro might have called a timeout.
Yeah, with 4:52 left on the fourth quarter clock, Mejia still leading by 7, 49-42. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Mexia Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you by Greer Time Media, Posey Napa Auto Part, Greer & Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.
And we're back here, fourth quarter of the Mejia Black Cats versus Brownsboro Bears. Mejia leading 49-42. It's a 4th and 10 here for the Black Cats from the Brownsboro 45. They've sent on the punt unit. It'll be a snap back to Davila. He'll look and he'll boot it away down the field. He gets a good kick there for the Black Cats. Oh, and great job by the coverage team as they down the ball at about the 1 yard line.
And that was almost dangerous.
Yeah, as the initial man got there and threw it back, the second wave went to down it, and a couple of them fell into the end zone.
Yeah, it looked like Frankie Smith was the first one down there to knock it back, and Will Coleman covered it about the 1 yard line.
And they were able to down it, which is a great play by the Mexia punt team and coverage unit of downing that ball. So that'll force Brownsboro to try to go it's going to be outside of the 1, so we're going to call it 98 yards to try to score to even this matchup up with 4:39 left on the clock. This is big for Mexia. If you can get a big stop or even get penetration here and maybe get a tackle in the end zone and pick up a safety, that would be a big win for the defense.
Yeah, this has been a half of field position so far tonight, with Mexia winning that battle of field position right now.
Rogers under center, snap back, handoff around the right side. And he just barely gets out of the end zone. As there were a couple of defenders there, he was able to slide inside of him and inch out of the end zone. They're going to mark him down right about the same spot.
And I'm not understanding that, because with Mejia's pursuit on the outside, Wallace, that's very dangerous for the Bears,
right,
because that could have easily been that safety that I've been longing for all year long.
Well, what it is they've had success with that play of that quick pitch out to the right side and getting blockers out there. That time the linebackers and safeties flew up for Mexia and was able to cut it off. Snap back, and it's going to be a pass attempt. That ball's up in the air, and it's going to be overthrown, as it was number 23 was out there Baker trying to make that reception, and it was Frankie Smith step for step with him on the coverage.
Yeah, Frankie was step for step with Baker there, but that was a very catchable ball, as Baker was veering back towards the inside of the football field, but it was just a little bit too much. Maybe the wind caught it and kind of pushed it more towards the middle of the field.
So Brownsboro line up again for 3rd and 10. We snap back, handoff underneath. Oh, and the runner is met right at the line, and that's a great job by the Mexia defense.
Yeah, they gave the ball to Nichols there, which Nichols has been their go-to guy so far tonight.
That was Wiley coming downhill in a hurry, and then he was assisted by Daniels on that tackle, where Nichols is only able to pick up a gain of 3 on the run. It's going to bring up 4th and 7 here from the Brownsboro 5-yard line.
Yeah, last time that we had Brownsboro at this distance on 4th down, we made the mistake of, getting offside. So.
And here you're going to.
Are they going for it?
Looks like they're going to try to give a hard count. And Mejia's holding their water, and now they're going to get a timeout. They were trying to entice Mexia to jump to try to pick up some extra yardage on an offsides penalty. Yeah, Mexia was disciplined on that, and they held their water, and so Brownsboro's going to use a timeout. And surely, with the ball on your 5-yard line at 3:05 left in the 4th quarter, they're going to probably send out the punt unit. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the end of the 4th quarter here from Black Cat Field. All right, and we're back here at Black Cat Field. Looks like Brownsboro is going to elect to go for it here on fourth and about 7 from their own 5-yard line. Man in motion. And it's going to be rollout by the quarterback. He looks. Oh, and that ball is knocked away. And that was Will Coleman, who was there on the coverage as he met the ball as soon as the receiver was there, and he was able to knock that ball to the ground.
Yeah.
And so that'll bring up a turnover on downs, and Mahale will take over at the Brownsboro 5-yard line.
Yeah, that was Shaden Jenkins, number 10 for the Bears, that rolled out to receive that pass. But like you said, Will Coleman was there to intercept that ball. And luckily, Shaden, he turned into the defender at that point in time when the ball was in the air. And lucky for him, which I know we get the ball back at the 5, but lucky for him that wasn't intercepted because Will Coleman, he's got the speed to run it back for 6.
So it'll be Miller under center here. Mahale with the ball at the 5-yard line. Handoff around the side, and it'll be Holman as he dives in for the touchdown. As Miller, Holman came around the left side, and he just kind of gave one of those good old baseball hook slides out into the pylon to pick up the touchdown. I think the Bears
defense was thinking that Miller might fake it and run up the middle because they really didn't pursue to the outside.
So it'll be Martinez on for the extra point. Sunday on the hold. Snap back, ball down. Oh, the kick looks like it's deflected, but it sneaks in over the upright or over the crossbar, and that extra point is good. So Mahale extends their lead to 56-42 with 2:54 left in the fourth quarter. And we have been taking breaks with them, but here as we get ready to set for the kickoff, we want to give some love to some of those guys that don't get their name called as much for the Black Cats, especially those guys up front that wear those bigger jersey numbers. You have big Jacob Adams, number 50, who's been playing on the D-line. Jordan Howell, 55. Brandon Ghost, 56. Caden Grayson, 57. James Abraham, 64. Jaime Escobedo, 70. Ivan Marquez, 77. Jonathan Hernandez, 78. Dylan Davis, 79. You have Andrew Sunday, number 88, along with several others that we'll get to, that we were able to get some of those names called on the defensive side of the ball, but we want to give love to those big guys who have been playing in the trenches tonight that don't get their name called as much, as now Mahale's kick team has made it out to the field. It'll be Davila and Martinez set to kick as the coverage spreads out. Brownsboro set to receive. And it'll be Davila who booms it down the field, and that ball's going to get into the end zone for a touchback.
And Wallace, I like to say that tonight's game has been powered by Simpson firework power tonight, because it's been all fireworks for the Mahale Black Cats for 4 quarters, and it's been nonstop. They could have got down whenever Brownsboro started capitalizing on the onside kicks and the fumbles, but the Black Cats stayed powered all night long and continue to play their game, and that's why we're up 2 scores right now.
Right, and so with 2:54 left, Mahale's hanging on to a 14-point advantage. And if you're the Black Cat defense, you want to hold right here for these last couple minutes. As Brownsboro comes out and they're in the gun this time, it'll be a snap back to the quarterback. He rolls to his right. He looks to throw. Catch is made there by number 6. And it's a gain of about 6 yards on that play. As they move the sticks out, they're going to say 7 as they spot it at the 32-yard line. We have some extra whistles.
Yeah, it looks like number
it's going to be
illegal
motion. Illegal motion from Brownsboro, so that'll negate that 6-yard pickup, and it'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Bears. So that'll move them back 5 yards from the original line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 1st and 15 here. The ball will be spotted right at the Brownsboro 20-yard line.
And that's one thing you haven't seen from the Bears tonight, because their offense is basically, disciplined, and they really haven't had a lot of penalties called on the offensive side of the ball. I think they're just getting too much urgency built up with 2:50 to go left in the game. Man
in motion, snaps up over the quarterback's head, and the ball's still loose, And Mejia falls on it and dives into the end zone, and that's going to be Dontavius Daniels, who's able to scoop that ball up and dive into the end zone for the Black Cat touchdown.
Yeah, I think the Bears, their urgency is just it's weighing too much on them right now, because they've got to drive the ball down the field, and that was just a mistake by your center. When he snapped the ball, it went over the quarterback's head and he couldn't get to it. And it looked like that they was going to corral about the 5-yard line, but they kicked it back towards the end zone.
Right.
And Mejia jumped on it for another touchdown.
Yeah, and 21's not the tallest of quarterbacks back there, and that ball just kind of sailed up in the air. Snap back, ball down, kick is up, and it's good. These last couple of kicks have been real skyrockets by Martinez, and not so much of him driving through it. But, going back to that play, that ball was just kind of high, and he wasn't able to get to it. And as he went back, another Brownsboro player was trying to get on it, and the ball kind of skipped out from under him, and Daniels was right there, and he just scooped it and dove out. When you're a defensive player, you're taught, especially those defensive linemen, to scoop and score, and that's all he did on that one. He scooped it up, and he dove into the big black painted end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, and I know that the Black Cats are up 3 scores right now with 2:44 to go in the fourth quarter. And Brownsboro, they're really not that big, real quick and hit scoring kind of team. So that mistake right there, which I feel was the big mistake made of this football game, to put the Black Cats up 3 scores, that should just about seal it for Black Cats, barring any crazy mistakes.
Right, and if you're Mejia, you want to stay focused and locked in all facets here with the last 2:44 of the game. And it's going to be another deep kick by Davila, and this one's going to be returned from about the 7 or 8 yard line. And there's Dre Sandals, who flies down the field, and he wraps up that returner at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, that was number 14, Jackson Epperson for the Bears, trying to return that football, but the Black Cat speed is just too much for them coming towards the end of this game right now. That was a great job by Sandals getting down there and making sure that return was very minimal.
Yeah, and it looked like the returner saw something and tried to hit it, but Sandals' speed closed too fast for him, and he just wrapped him up and threw him down. So Mejia's defense back out again after they were able to get a touchdown of their own on the last drive. They'll come out, and it'll be a handoff around the right side, and the runner's going to just be strung out and pushed out of bounds on the Mejia sideline. Looks like they may give him a gain of about 1 or 2 on the play.
Yeah, it was number 10, Shaden Jennings, on the carry for the Bears. And you're starting to think, Wallace, are the Bears licking their wounds right now and saying, hey, that's only the first loss in district. Let's finish the game out and see what we can get positive out of it.
It'll be Rogers under center, snap back, handoff up the middle. Oh, he keeps it. Oh, and then he's drugged down that time by Wiley as Wiley flies out to the quarterback and brings him down. He is able to gain about 4 yards on that play. So it'll bring up 3rd and 5 here for the Bears.
Yeah, number 21 for the Bears is Jackson Rogers, who's been playing underneath the center tonight. And he really hasn't ran the ball a lot himself.
Snap back. Handoff underneath. Oh, and the Black Cats are there, and the ball's on the ground. Oh, no.
What happened? Did they call him down? No, they didn't call him down.
They blew the whistle to call him down on that?
No, they didn't call him down. He was standing straight up when the ball flew out. Wow.
Oh, wow.
There's been some crazy calls tonight.
Yeah, so that'll bring up 4th and 3 here for the Bears, as that ball was punched out and recovered by the Black Cats, but they're going to say he was down, and Brownsboro will punt it away here. And the ball's blocked, and Mejia recovers at the 10-yard line, as that time it was Sandals able to get into the backfield and get to that ball as it was coming off the punter's foot.
Well, I know we've had a lot of plays by a lot of Black Cats, but this second half should be named the second half Sandals half because he's come up with some big plays tonight for the Black Cats in the second half.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that we wanted to see. And Mexia was able to hold Brownsboro to just one touchdown in the second half after giving up 35 points in the first half. That defense was really able to come out and kind of hold their own, force a couple turnovers, and limit what Brownsboro was able to do in the second half. And I think it took them a little bit to figure it out with all the misdirection and all the plays they were running. But once they figured it out, they were able to do a good job of it.
And that's a great sportsman thing I like to see towards the end
Right.
of the game is Mexia Black Cats are lining up in the victory formation, and Miller's just taking it and taking a step back to waste a couple of
Right.
seconds off the clock to kill the clock.
So with it, I believe doesn't look like Brownsboro will use another timeout. So Mexia won't snap this ball until the clock is under 40, so they'll have to snap one more time. And once they snap it, then they can essentially just run the clock out till the end of the game.
And that's one thing I saw on that first play was the Bears had 12 defensive players on the field, and the referee allowed that 12th player to run off. There's really no reason to call a penalty this late in the game with
Right.
the ball game the way it is.
And that's going to wrap it up as Mexia is going to allow the last 20 seconds of the ball game to run off the clock. Mexia will get their first victory in the district season as they are able to defeat the Brownsboro Bears tonight, 63-42. The first half was kind of crazy with a lot of unusual plays, a lot of mistakes from both teams, and each team being able to go on big runs and put points on the board. And then the second half, Mexia came out, and they were able to kind of establish their dominance, and it started on that defensive side of them just being able to hold everything and keep Brownsboro's offense from doing much and create some more turnovers like they did the first half. And then the offense kind of got going as the second half went on. They traded touchdowns there at the beginning of the second half. And then after that, it was all Mexia as they were able to add a few more scores to the scoreboard, and their defense was able to keep Brownsboro from really scoring anything else.
Yeah.
So we want to say hats off to the Black Cats tonight. They moved their overall record to 2-4. District record is 1-0 tonight. It's a good win for the Black Cats. Always a good win when you win your district opener. Keeps you in contention to be in that driver's seat. So we're going to say good job to Mexia, to the players, to the coaches. We want to thank you all for listening tonight. We will be back on next week with our coaches show leading up into our game against Van next week. As both teams meet at the middle of the field.
And this is something that you haven't seen all year long. Both teams are meeting at the middle of the field with both head coaches standing in the middle as both teams bow their heads and pray together. That's a great sign of respect for both teams, and you love to see that.
And as they end their prayer, we want to say thank you all for listening to our listeners from Brownsboro and from that area around and all the other places around the district. I want to say we wish you traveling grace as you travel back home and over the highways. To the Mexia fans, the same as each person departs here. I want to say another good game for the Black Cats. We thank everyone for tuning in. Share, let everyone know we will be bringing you Mexia Black Cat football all season long. We will be back next Friday for Mexia versus Van. From here, Black Cat Field. Right.
I think we're going.
Oh, we go to Van.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. We will be in Van next Friday. But we will be on. We'll be here and we'll be broadcasting and streaming it for you at 7:30 next week. Again, good win by the Black Cats, 63-42 over the Brownsboro Bears. Go Black Cats, and we'll see you next week.